Welcome back to another episode of the Family Album. I'm your host, AJ Tenari.
And I'm Matt Glass.
Last week we
recorded an episode.
Wow, that sure was an episode, wasn't it, Matt?
My God, it's my favorite. Enemies became friends. Friends became enemies.
I cried, I laughed, I camed, all at the same time even. It was great. But it is an off week, family heads. And as you know, on an off week, we always bring back a guest. And for this special April Fool's episode, actually, we're bringing back a fan favorite guest. Please welcome back Elizabeth Cavaliere.
Hello, everybody. Thank you. I begged to be here.
Well, how does it feel to be on our epic April Fool's episode?
I'm literally so excited to laugh.
Yeah? We're going to try our best.
We're going to giggle. We're going to have a great
time. We're going to squee. We're going to cackle. It's going to be great.
Absolutely. We're going to yap.
Yeah, we're going to
so excited to yap.
And yap is a pretty fitting word for this kind of theme. So, Elizabeth, before you tell us our theme, give us a little bit of musical background, your history, what you do in your life, because you're pretty in the music scene right now.
Yes. So I work in music touring. So a lot of my life is music, which I love. I grew up a huge fan. I'm still a fan. Never will not be a fan. That's my whole brand. But yeah, I'm a really big fan of these two artists we're talking about today. I'm very excited.
So what are these two artists and what's your theme?
I thought long and hard about this. This started because I really wanted an outlet to talk about Brat. I really love Charli XCX. I've loved her for a while. And my theme today is party girls.
Yes, it is.
So I chose the OG party girl in my era, Kesha.
Mm-hmm.
And then also the current party girl, Charli XCX.
Yeah.
So we're going to
see how they've progressed over the years.
Absolutely. Because I think the Kesha album we're talking about was 2010 and then Brat came out in 24. So a big difference.
Yeah.
So.
Very much so. So what album would you like to start with this week?
I feel like we should start with Kesha. We should go the OG.
Chronological.
Yeah.
Make them wait. You know what I mean?
Make them wait. I like it, Matt.
Do not press the timestamp.
No, they're there, but you're not allowed to press them.
Swear to God.
I'll know.
We'll know.
We're always watching.
And then you won't be laughing on April Fools.
There's nothing funny about that.
Somebody take this mic away from me.
So AJ, tell me about some
history of Cannibal by Kesha.
I'm so excited.
Guys, Cannibal by Kesha was released November 19th, 2010 on RCA Records and is the first EP released by 2010's pop staple, Kesha. It was released to coincide with her debut album Animal and had a generally positive reception upon release, though some had problems with the crass, vulgar lyrics and overuse of autotune. And they can shove it.
Yeah.
I would like to point out I picked this Kesha album as opposed because the first one had TikTok and that. This one has still hits like blows on this one. We are who we are. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to do the second one because I feel like Charli's Brat, it was not her debut at all.
Yeah.
She already had hits. So I wanted to make it more cohesive and comparable. That's just why I chose
I think that's fair too.
That one. Yeah.
So if we got nothing else to say, should we just hop right into it?
Let's dive in.
Let's do it.
So this album starts with the title track, Cannibal. And I'm not the biggest fan of it as an opener. It definitely sets the tone for what we're getting into.
See, I like it because I think it definitely sets the tone.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I think it's fitting. It just doesn't personally speak to my taste as a music listener.
I love to drag AJ into things I know he probably won't like.
That's our dynamic.
Crazy.
If you listen to any of our other episodes,
Matt is normally on my side. AJ is not.
Polar opposites.
I'm the nice one. AJ's the mean one.
Yeah,
the
good
devil
cop,
and the angel.
the good brat, bad brat,
Brat Glass, as people call me on the streets.
That's how I'm gonna refer to you always now.
Brat Glass. That's crazy.
So I never really noticed this upon going back to Kesha's album for re-listens. I really never picked up on how often she uses that speak singing style in her music.
Yes,
that very much caught me off guard because I'm used to just the melodic singing voice, but most of this album is sung in that style.
Yeah, the thing about these two artists is that they both very openly well, that's not true. Kesha can really sing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really can sing.
On this album too.
But the way these albums are structured, they're talk singing.
Very much, yeah.
It's nobody's belting. They're screaming, but no belting.
No. They're just saying what's on their mind. It's got this stream of consciousness delivery with some, as I mentioned, crass and vulgar lyrics, which were very, I guess, passe for the time.
Absolutely, because you think about the time Gaga was just kind of starting as well, so it's that was the pendulum swung in favor of the raunchy in your face, very sleazy, lack of a better term. We'll get there.
It is on this album.
It's true. I gotta say, I know it's a song and it's called Cannibal. I was not really expecting a Jeffrey Dahmer shout out.
Yeah.
Isn't that insane?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, I respect it. You know what I mean? Like, she's Kesha. I mean, she can do whatever the fuck she wants.
She has a dollar sign in
Yeah,
her
this
name.
was
dude.
Kesha with a dollar sign.
It
Very
was.
important to note.
Yes, the dollar sign era.
The dollar sign era of Kesha.
Oh, speaking of this era, I just need to put out there, fuck Dr. Luke.
True.
Fuck
A fucking
Dr.
man.
Luke.
Fuck Dr. Luke.
Fuck
Dr.
Dr. Luke.
And
It's so sad to listen to some of these songs and know that was like
Yeah.
what she was going through, but it's so good.
And also, I guess, a little bit fuck Katy Perry for working with Dr. Luke this past year.
That's true. That's very
kinda
true.
crazy.
That is insane.
Yeah.
Fuck.
If you listen to our family meeting, Family Heads, from Christmas 2024, that was on my worst albums list.
Rightfully
Perry?
so.
Oh my God.
It was very bad.
Insanity.
Yeah.
This one is leagues above this one, I will
Very-
say.
honestly, yeah. But it ain't hard to beat. I like there's a little TikTok callback with the whoa, 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 whoas. That's very cute. The chorus, I think, is probably my favorite part of the album. It has like a nice build at the end. It has like some cool layered vocals.
She's good at writing catchy choruses.
She is very good at writing hooks.
She can write a hook.
Yeah.
The hooks on this album are so
They
good.
do go pretty hard.
Even if it's like the same note over and over again, like for the first like half of it, she's good at like really matching with the instrumental as it kind of like changes chords around her.
And I feel like you hear it throughout this whole album, but it's that crunchy 2010
Oh,
like
yeah.
synth.
Electropop.
Yes. That like so like brassy. I don't know what words I'm going to use throughout this episode, by the way. Like this is so hard
Got
to
some new
describe.
vocabulary. Let's go.
Literally. But it just feels very, yeah.
Of its time.
And it
Yeah.
again, it's such a hard hitting, like the opening line's like a rah. Like
Yeah.
that's so
I
fun to go
that too.
to go into an album like that, and that's the first thing you hear. It's like, oh hell yeah, I'm sad. I'm here.
I'm sorry. It's like a rah. Like,
That's what she does.
sorry. I don't know why this made me laugh so hard. Cannibal. Ah!
Like, she's scary. It's like a cannibal. Like, rah. You know?
Dollar sign in my name. Like, I don't know. Sorry. Yeah, no, I think it's a decent opener for what it's trying to do, but I'm kind of on the side with AJ. I'm not really sure if I like the song by itself, but I think it serves well as
That's fair.
Yeah.
In context of the album.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, if we got nothing else to say, should we move on
Let's move on.
to one of the biggest songs she's ever done? We got "We Are Who We Are."
This defined a generation.
That it did.
Yeah.
I remember this song so vividly. I think I was 11 probably when it came out, 11, maybe 10 still. But like, God, the amount of dances people I knew
Oh, yeah,
made to
dude.
this song. Oh my God.
A school dance staple.
Like,
of course. Yeah.
literally. Literally.
This was definitely a throwback listening to it. I got like thrown right back into like 2010, just being like, wow, like what an era.
And it goes back to what you said about the hooks. Like she can just
yeah,
write
dude.
the repetition makes sense. Everything about it, like it gets in your head.
Yeah.
It does.
Especially like with the glitchy kind of like production on this track too, like repeating
Dum.
that it does stick with you. Even if I don't think it's great, it does stick with you.
That's the thing. The writing on this album is not like anything.
Yeah, it's not amazing.
great.
Yeah.
Nah.
But it's you get what you get.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It
We are
serves
who
its
we are.
purpose.
Amen.
Exactly.
I think I like her voice most like on this track
Okay.
because she really just like I don't know what it
Because
is.
she's hot and dangerous.
Yeah.
If you're one of us, then roll with us.
No, please continue.
No,
We just keep going in a circle. We sing all the
God.
songs.
Anytime
There's
he
no
tries to
discussion.
speak.
Absolutely.
God. Yeah, no, I think her voice is like perfect for pop, honestly.
Yeah.
It is.
She doesn't like sing really, really high or like really like belt out her notes, but she
Does what she needs to.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like we don't
It
appreciate
is crazy. She had such a voice, and like that was her two debut, not two debuts, the debut and then
Like the
sophomore.
follow-up.
Yeah. We're so not singing.
Yeah.
And then suddenly years later, she's like, wait. But I think I agree. You hear it a little bit on this with the bridge.
Yeah. I just think it's unique because like we don't really celebrate altos that much in the music industry, I feel like.
That's fair.
I noticed that she has kind of like a country twang she uses in like certain lyrics, which is like kind of funny. Has like a little quirk to her mannerisms.
It is really funny thrown with like the production behind it and like use it like that twang.
Just like the way like she speaks, like she just has like a little bit of an accent at some points.
I love it.
I feel like a lot of my notes won't be about the production as much because it's pretty similar
Yeah.
Yeah.
track by track.
They took the same beat. Added, like,
Yeah, little
different
variations,
to every song.
You're there for Kesha, not the music.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's her whole vibe and her personality and like her voice is pretty iconic. Like, you know it's Kesha when you hear Kesha.
Exactly. Yeah, like this is a very recognizable song, and she did a great job making it so memorable. If got nothing else, we're going to move on to the next track.
Yeah.
Hit it.
We got Sleazy. This is a very retro 2000s club track.
I love this song so much.
Yeah. The make me want to make me come line.
Come
actually. So funny.
Oh, my fault. My bad. I'll cite my sources next time.
Over to your place.
It's so cheeky. Look at her.
It's so good.
Yeah. And she also straight up just fucking raps on this track.
That's what I was.
Literally.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Yeah.
Literally. Who let Kesha?
Exactly. She could do whatever she wanted.
Is she like our we have a phrase on the family album. It's his friend. I guess he's my friend too. Now I think about it.
Only AJ's friend.
Only my friend.
Let's set the record straight. Evan is not my friend.
Perfect.
No, Evan, one of our friends and guests of the podcast, he coined this phrase that we use all the time, and it's white men on the verge of rapping.
Mm-hmm.
I think Kesha might be the first
white woman
on the verge of rapping. I was about to say female.
Is she actually rapping? I feel like she is actually rapping on this track.
That's true.
I guess you can just...
We can give her the creds for rapping.
It was 2010.
That's true.
It's rapping.
For context, the people we were talking about, like from that, where that quote is from, was the Bare Naked Ladies.
That is so funny.
We've had a few others pop up.
Yeah.
So I'm cool adding Kesha to that ensemble. I think she fits.
I love that so much.
This one is very silly all around. It's kind of, just embodying the thesis of Kesha, just not giving a shit about what people think about you and being who you are.
Yeah, that's kind of so far. I mean, besides the lead track, which is just the rah,
I want to fuck.
Yeah, literally. Then it's all like, we are who we are. Be yourself.
Parties.
We're partying.
Exactly. That's literally
raw even. Yeah. I find it interesting. This track is not really melodic that much. It's very percussive, I feel like. Mm-hmm. And there's like a little part where there's like these synths. I think it's like a piano, but it's like really, really quiet in the mix compared to like everything else that's happening. Mm-hmm. And I find it interesting that it's only for the chorus that you hear that.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
she's adding a little bit of like instrumental variety in
some
there.
Depth.
Which is nice, yeah. And it's kind of like a cool juxtaposition with like this raunchy club track with some like classical piano in there. It's neat.
Yeah, that is neat.
Yeah, no, this track's all right.
Yeah. But I think this next track is even better. We got Blow, written for the hit show Victorious.
That's what I was going to talk about.
Was it written for Victorious?
No, it was not.
That's how I know it.
For some reason, Kesha was on an episode of Victorious.
It was the one where Danielle Monet almost kisses a minor.
I forgot about that.
It was the
part.
ice cream for Kesha.
It was.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Dude, this is also the episode where Robbie gets beat up in the park for bringing the bucket of ice cream by mothers.
Yeah, they did. Because I think he's a creep. Oh, man. Dan Schneider.
Crazy guy.
Very much, yeah.
It's just crazy that Kesha, like, existed in a room with Victoria Justice.
Yeah.
That's something that sits really well with me, and I'd like to talk to them. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I feel like the only person Kesha would speak to would be Liz Gillies, and I can't explain that.
Liz Gillies is like objectively the coolest one out of all of them.
That's true.
Absolutely. Yeah. Or Evan Jogia.
Evan Jogia's up there. I think he's all right.
I feel like Nickelodeon was trying to trick us into thinking he was actually cool.
It worked on me.
Mm-hmm.
Did not.
Liz Gillies the top. I love Ariana Grande. We all know I love Ariana Grande, but
Leon Thomas is where it's at.
Leon Thomas is great though.
That's true.
That cast was so good, except maybe Victoria Justice.
Can I say
I'm so sorry.
Take?
Go for it, man.
I think her and Andre should have ended up together. Personally,
did anyone end up with Victoria Justice
no.
on the show?
Beck kind of.
Beck had like a weird thing with her for a second. Not actual Victoria Justice.
Yeah, Tori Vega.
Yeah, Tori Vega.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I just can't believe there was Kesha performed Blow on that show.
That's pretty wild.
Also, this is where glitter's mentioned throughout the album, but this was where it's like dirt and glitter cover the floor. And that's something that I think when we talk about Charli's album, the glitter has been lost somewhere in the mix and switched with like cigarettes.
Yeah, the staple of party girl culture has swapped.
Glitter, yes. Glitter was so 2010 party girl. It was in everyone's hair. It was everywhere.
Yeah.
Even when I was like 15, 16, that was like still a thing. Glitter. Yeah. Glitter is not in anymore.
But you've also graduated to cigarettes.
Absolutely. I changed. I'm kidding. I love the aesthetic of a cigarette though. You know,
it can look kind of sexy.
Too bad they taste awful.
Too bad they're not
kill your
good.
Lungs, yeah.
Absolutely, they're so bad. Nobody smoke, but the aesthetic is nice.
Exactly.
But the glitter is something that I picked up on throughout this of like
it's a
that's
constant.
just a big thing.
Yeah.
And then in Victorious, if everyone's seen the episode, she shoots the glitter.
She does shoot glitter.
That's true.
That's like her final moment. Just
Absolutely.
covers the.
She's also in like an American flag outfit.
She is.
Don't know if you
She
remember
does.
that. I don't know why they chose to do that. Really interesting take.
God bless the troops. That's what Kesha says.
I'm sure Kesha. I'm sure.
That was right on her mind. Yeah.
She wrote it for the army.
Anyway, this is a really good song.
It is.
Such
I like
a good
it a lot.
song.
I think it's arguably the best one on the record.
I would agree.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this one or like the closer are my favorites.
Oh,
I
really?
can agree with that.
Yeah,
I can agree with that.
but I do really like Blow. The chorus is extremely catchy. The deep synths kind of sound like Gangnam Style, which I like personally. And also she sings mostly on this track,
She does
which
sing.
is a
True.
very nice change of pace.
She does sing.
Yeah.
This is really weird, but she says hands, but pronounces it as like Hanes.
Hate my Hanes.
And I was like, that's like a brand of underwear. So I thought the song was going in like a completely different direction.
Matt was in
dude.
such a party girl mindset. Matt's like, what's happening?
I was like, I don't remember this episode of Victorious.
Is this where Guess came from? Yeah, Blow's a pretty good song, right, guys?
Yeah.
I quite like it.
I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Shit. I was gonna say one more thing.
While you're thinking, I do feel like the bridge of the song kind of detracts from the overall product because it goes back to more of the like the rap kind of stuff, and it has some nice keys, but I just feel like it kind of brings it down just a little bit.
Yeah.
The synths are like really buzzy, which I do like, but
Yeah.
that's what I was actually gonna say too. I feel like the bridge kind of takes away from it because it just feels like it doesn't really like
It clashes,
fit, if
yeah.
that makes sense.
It sounds like it was like literally made on a completely different,
Yeah,
like it was taken from something else and put into this song.
exactly. It does not mesh well at all.
No.
But next up, we have the Herald song.
This is where the party girl goes a little vulnerable.
Exactly.
We switch.
She's in the bathroom.
She's in the
wiping off her
bath.
makeup.
Exactly. We're at that point at the party.
Yeah.
She's a little too drunk and she's crying.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I love to see, it's just so funny. Like you think of where we started with like Cannibal
yeah.
to get to like this vulnerable
ballad.
Like, I'd give anything to have you.
Exactly.
Like the most ballady.
Little piano. That's
Yes.
it. There's not too much like electro stuff in there.
Yes. This is one of my favorites, honestly.
I agree. It's pretty good and very much needed for the pacing of this album.
Yeah, you need a break. You're
Yeah.
partying a little too hard.
Exactly.
bit.
You're gonna crash.
This is right after. Oh my god! You said I was just talking about crash with Matt. You threw me through a loop. You really just wrecked my brain. Wait, this is right after Blow, right?
yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is, I agree. I think it's like after that, such a big. You need
Yeah.
a little like,
Little calm down.
calm down.
And they kind of start the back half of the album, which I feel like is not as strong as the first half.
No,
But this is a good start to that.
I would
at
have
least.
layered those songs a lot differently. Like
Yeah.
I think they should have spread out the end. But maybe their hope was like people listen to the first 5 songs. You have to think it was 2010.
That's true.
People
Yeah.
bought albums,
Yeah.
so maybe they thought of it different. You know, they put their best 5
First, yeah,
so
to
that
sell those
yeah.
records.
so people listen to it.
That makes sense. Also,
Hypothesis.
the choruses of the song sound like California Girls by Katy Perry. Did anyone pick up on
never
that?
I can kind now that you mention it, I feel like
now
I can
that you
kind of see
mention
it.
it, but I'd never thought of it like
It has
that.
that same syncopation, that like, overall like sound. I was like, holy shit.
It's funny, like
Wow.
I feel like Sleazy kind of had some elements of Roar,
Okay.
like a little bit.
In terms of like the
What were-
production a little bit and like the
Maybe.
beat.
I think it was just like the weird like single like taps of like the,
Boom, boom.
This is just a Katy Perry album.
I mean they both worked with Dr. Luke, so
Ugh.
unfortunately
Rip.
there
Rest
is
in peace.
there's a through line there unfortunately.
Oh god.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. I can kind of see California Girls like
Yeah.
a little bit.
I never heard that, but now that you say it, I can hear it.
I think what's kind of interesting about this song is that despite it being a lot more vulnerable, as you said, it kind of has this like, it has like the same like really buzzy sounding
Yeah.
synths kind of holding it together in the bass. So it at least kind of matches up with
Yeah,
the
the
sound of
sound.
the album.
Yeah, I
Without
agree.
like the energy matching
match
it
it, yeah.
necessarily. Yeah.
No, but I wrote something very similar to that. Like, it is a good sentiment that it stays consistent with the tone of the album, but it's still like a nice kind of change up emotionally.
I have a friend named Harold.
That's
Really?
so sick.
Did
Have
you
you
date
heard the
Kesha?
song?
No, he did not. He did not date Kesha.
Oh, damn. Maybe one day. And then there'll be the
I
Harold
don't think
song
so.
too.
A part 2 and
Two
interlude.
Harold, 2 songs. Well, I got nothing else about this one.
Yeah.
No, that's my thoughts.
And I also don't have much about this next one, Crazy Beautiful Life.
This again, just she circles back to like, I love being a party girl, but it's like a
Yeah.
little more emotional for whatever
Yeah,
reason.
and it's also like not as like in your face about it either.
No.
It just feels like a nothing song to me.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
It's got like Owl City synths at the beginning, which I was really not expecting. I like how toward the end she dips into the more like 8-bit like sound with a lot of her production.
I agree.
I think with that, it helps make the song stand out a little bit more than the rest of them, besides like the last track.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I like how this one also has like a slightly bouncier feel.
Yeah, it has almost like a shuffle to it in like the chorus, which I dig.
It feels like the end of the album, it's got like a little more experimental. Like the first 5 were like, this is Kesha.
We got our party girl.
And now it's like,
let's go crazy.
They're like, these are the hits. Yeah. What else can we throw in just to see if it sticks?
It doesn't overstay its welcome, so I can't really complain.
Yeah. No, yeah.
It's like a little over 2 minutes.
Something like that.
They're all really short.
Yeah, this is like very short album.
For the Herald song.
Yeah. Well, that's her moment. Yeah.
But isn't it funny? Because I think it's only like 3.5 minutes runtime, maybe a little longer, but it feels like ages because of how short the other songs are. We're like, is this song still playing?
Your brain's been like tricked.
Yeah.
It's crazy. This next track, Grow a Pair. Oh boy.
This song is so 2010.
Yeah.
And it could not exist in 2024.
It did not age very well at all.
Not at all. It is insane.
Yeah.
And what's more insane is I remember the song, I was in 6th grade on the softball bus, and then we lost our speaker for a week. They took it from us.
Because you played the song?
Because we played the song.
Oh my God.
My softball coach heard this and was like, give me it. And then we didn't have music for a week. And we were all so pissed. We're like, why?
Damn. Grow a pair.
You can't say mangina.
Jesus.
That's my trauma with the song, though.
It is a pretty traumatizing song, honestly.
It's like in its own right iconic to some degree because it's like this was so like
she just like went for it.
She really
without
said,
a care.
"Let's go as crazy as I can, and see what happens."
It sounds like a parody song almost in like both like the sound and production and just like the lyrics themselves. It sounds like Bart Baker wrote and performed this song. I'm not gonna lie.
It's the way she's like whining in it too. All over your face. Just like a little like.
And she has like this like super like basic staccato delivery. It's like
you signed up for a man, but you were just a bitch.
Yeah, it's like very simple like baby
but
rhymes.
Then it goes back into the like
the glitchy repetition stuff.
It got stuck in my head for a little too long. I gotta be honest with
sorry.
you. It's okay. Also, the song sounds like TikTok, like low key.
Yeah,
you know that was what their goal was. Like this was supposed to be like a raunchier. Yeah, exactly. There's elements of TikTok thrown, like you said in the
and then Cannibal.
Yeah. It's literally, they were like, what can we do?
Exactly.
And they did something right because she stayed
around.
big. Yeah.
That's true.
She's on the next album, actually. So stay tuned.
Well, technically, it's the follow-up of the next album. If you did the history.
But it is completely different, but it is also still Brat, so.
God, I'm so excited.
So the pre-chorus is pretty annoying. It has that glitch, like repetition stuff that's like seen throughout the album. And then like the way that it ends and segues into the chorus is a very poor choice of words. The dude with the badge. Oh boy.
The talking part where she goes, and no, I don't want to see your mangina.
Yeah.
Is like,
holy shit.
Like, take the kid's speaker and break it. Dear God, I'm 12.
I feel like we have not had a lot of luck with any talking parts in any albums this year so far.
Yeah, spoken word's been pretty rough.
It's been a pretty rough theme. Last time it was Dolly Parton just randomly being like, you want to see something sexy? And now it's this.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Who knows what else 2025 has in store?
Don't speak to me. Just sing to me. Like you don't need. I don't want
Sing to me.
It's not a call and response. This is a parasocial relationship. You should not be talking to me.
That's a good way to think about it.
Hey, I got the memo.
Matt said
Dolly Parton didn't. Before this goes off for rails anymore, do you have anything else about Grow a Pair?
No.
Besides that it sucks.
See, I kind of like it. I think I like it in a way if I liked it when I was 12.
Yeah.
And I remember it feeling so rebellious, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, my mom can't hear me listening to this. This is crazy.
It's like, this is your moment. Well, last up, we have See You Next Tuesday. And I think it's a really good closer.
See, this song to me, I agree that it's a good closer, but in the midst of this album, it feels weird.
Okay.
And kind of forgettable to me.
I gotcha.
Personally.
I kind of dig it, but
the chorus isn't bad. Yeah. It's just like, I don't know. It just feels like a crazy thing to throw into this album.
I like it. I think it's a very nice change up from like the rest of the stuff we've been hearing. It's also another bit of a more vulnerable moment for Kesha.
Yeah.
In a different kind of way, because I think it's about like her being like a side a side girl. The synths do a lot of the heavy lifting on this track, which I like a lot, and I think the chorus is very catchy too.
It's another party girl's feelings, you know?
Exactly, yeah.
Behind all the glitter and the dirt.
Who's the girl beneath the glitter?
These are the philosophical questions we ask here on the family album.
And we will see you next Tuesday.
That's right. We upload every Tuesday. Yeah.
It works out perfectly.
That's
You're
true.
going to get a cease and desist from Dr.
It's going to be our outro music. See you next
But it's
Tuesday.
really pitched and just me singing it.
It's giving super bass, like low key.
Okay.
Interesting.
I can kind of hear like early Nicki in this a little bit.
Yeah.
That makes sense. It was around the same time.
I don't know like where she like slots in with the echelon of
Pop girlies.
pop princesses.
She was like adjacent to everything. Like even because you think it's like Gaga, Kesha,
Katy Perry.
Katy Perry.
Taylor Swift at that point?
Yeah, she was doing
Sort of, kind of.
Speak Now came out in 2011, so Fearless had been out.
Okay, yeah.
So it was like kind of an
A transition.
Ride.
Yeah. Well,
She
look at
fits
that.
in there somewhere.
Exactly. But that's all I got to say. I think it's a nice closer, and it's probably my second favorite track on the album.
Nice.
I could see why. I like how they had the retro sounding synths again.
Yeah, it's nice.
It gives it character and it made it a bit more memorable than the rest.
And if we got nothing else, should we get to our final thoughts?
Final thoughts.
Elizabeth, what did you think of Cannibal by Kesha?
You know, this album's really nostalgic to me.
Yeah.
I think it was such a culture moving album in my opinion. Like, because the first album again had TikTok and all the hits, but this was like sophomore, a lot of pressure on that album, and I think it rose to the occasion. You Blow. I like Sleazy a lot. We Are Who We Are. Big tracks.
She was there to show that she's here to stay.
Yes. It was like it was't just for the first album. She's like, this is me. I am party.
The party girl.
Yes.
I am Cannibal.
Those are my final thoughts. It slays.
What would you rank it out of 10? Letter grade?
Maybe out of 10, like 7 out of 10. Because I think, again, the hits are the hits.
Yeah.
And to me, the other stuff is not as strong. But I think, again, it has such an impact that's what makes it like.
That gives it boost that score.
Yes.
Yeah. Matt, what are your thoughts on Cannibal?
I think it's pretty solid for the most part. Kind of as you said before, like the hits are the hits. Some of the other tracks I don't think really get to the height as like the really hype ones do. I appreciate them trying to make them like tonally consistent, like Harold's song and like kind of like Crazy Beautiful Life. I don't really care for the closer, the opener like that much. Kind of conflicted about it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I feel similar.
I like it generally, but I don't think it's an album that, at least in full, that I'll return to.
Yeah.
But like, you still got tracks like We Are Who We Are, Blow. I think Sleazy has like some
kind of charm to it.
I can give some credence to Sleazy. I personally will not be listening to it, but like I can see
Points to Sleazy.
some clout for Sleazy. You know what I mean? But I can see why people would like it. Grow a Pear is there.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I'd give this like a 6 out of 10. Actually, I'm gonna go with like 5.5.
Okay.
I feel like that feels
More appropriate.
correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Letter grade wise, like a C minus.
Okay.
Yeah.
C plus. I'll give a C plus.
C plus.
There you go.
C plus is good.
Passing grade.
All right. I kind of agree. I think this album is a bit of a mixed bag, in all things considered. She does kind of excel at creating club bangers, but she is also capable of being very vulnerable very effectively, which is a nice kind of dichotomy. I think she's a solid vocalist, but she's definitely not my favorite, especially when she does the speak, singing, rap stuff. I just don't care for her personally. But she has a really good voice, and I was like I was kind of bummed she didn't use that more throughout the album. The lyrical content isn't really like super deep. It's mostly about, just partying and hookups and stuff, but that's the point. It's about the whole party girl experience.
I mean, what else were we gonna sing about in 2010? You know what I mean?
Everything was great, right?
You have to take it as what it is. It's like it's a party girl.
They
album.
are who they are.
Yes.
Yeah. I feel like there's not really, I guess actually, never mind. I had this note that she doesn't have like an identity as a songwriter, but she definitely does because she's very memorable for what she writes.
That's the thing. I think this kind of artist, like she's known for being her, which I think in its own way is like being an
admirable.
artist.
Yeah.
She is the figure.
Yeah.
She's
creating that brand.
She's not belting, but she has such a brand behind her and such, again,
you remember
culture changing. Yeah.
The instrumentals, they're fine, but they're nothing like super mind-blowing. Very standard 2010 electronic pop and synths. I definitely see the appeal of this album, and especially I can see how influential it was for artists that followed, especially going from Brat to this album.
Absolutely.
And I hope that she at least took like what worked and ran with it, because I don't really know what else she did after this, like after her like peak popularity.
I'm trying to think. She made a couple. Well, it's interesting because she did like another party girl, because she had, oh my God. Do you know the song Come On, Come On?
I don't think so.
This is what dreams are made.
She made another, I don't know. That's crazy. I don't know if that, let me look actually, because I know there's either like an album or two that came after this, and then it was her whole break with Dr. Luke, and then the Praying album.
Back.
Yeah. So it's like she only made like another album or two after this,
Before,
and then
like,
the
the
whole
hiatus,
the hiatus came.
I gotcha.
So really, she took a big break before she rebranded.
I see.
Even though she still is the OG party girl.
Yeah.
And everyone knows that.
As proven.
But she can like also sing.
Exactly.
Interesting.
And I wish she did that more.
It's just like, where were you in 2010? She was too busy being iconic.
Exactly. My fault. My bad. Overall, I think it's like okay. It definitely is a thesis statement for just her entire brand. But just there are some like definitely like hiccups in there that prevent it from like reaching those heights. Especially "Grow a Pair." That song just I don't really like.
Lame.
So I'm gonna give it a C-.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I agree with that letter grade. I didn't say my letter grade, but that sounds right.
Sick. Well, there we go.
Slay.
But now it's time to move on to a much better album, in my opinion.
Oh my God, it's time for the album of the year. The word of 2024 is
Yes,
Brat.
that it is.
very
Is it really?
true.
Yeah.
Like confirmed
Confirmed,
canonically?
right?
Wow.
Have you seen that?
The word of 2024.
The word of 2024 is Brat. Am I
That would
just on
make
Twitter
sense.
too much? Hold on.
Do
Let me
years
fact check
have
this.
words?
Yeah.
Like, it's like the most like popular, frequently used, I would
Word
guess.
of the
Oh, I
year
gotcha, I gotcha.
2024. Somebody, let me fact check this.
I mean, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the Oxford Word of the Year.
That's
The
cool.
Oxford Dictionary. Wait, maybe I'm wrong. I'm seeing brain rot, but I saw all over it was Brat. Maybe I'm just too on Twitter. Maybe we shouldn't listen to me.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, like, what else would it be?
People have said so many times that Brat was just for Twitter and Brat was nothing more. And that is so wrong.
Yeah.
I'm saying it now. If anyone thinks that, you're wrong. Look outside. Touch grass. You're wrong.
You're not a brat.
I don't want to spoil my thoughts. Well, actually, I won't be because we already talked about how much I love this album.
That's true. But I can go in depth with that thought.
Oh, I can't wait.
This album genuinely earns all of its creds, I feel like.
It's so interesting because it's like looking at Charli's career. She made an album in 2020 called How I'm Feeling Now. And it literally is so Brat coded. It's very similar production wise, very similar, and nobody.
They got a lot of like critical reception from what I heard. Like a lot of like the YouTube like music people, they love that album.
Mike the Snare, right? He's
Like the
one
Snare,
of them.
Fantano, some other people.
Charli's been like the industry's best kept secret because
Yeah.
it's like she's around and people know the music, but it's like people aren't like
She's in that in between space where it's like she's not popular, but she's critically acclaimed.
We'll get to a song about that.
That's right. Yeah. I do have like a little bit of a question because I never really got like the hype of Brat, like seeing it be this like whole phenomenon. I think it's a good album, but I don't understand like why it's so culturally important. So I'm looking to you two to help me understand this.
I'm just speaking from a musical standpoint.
Yeah.
I can acknowledge the fact that this album demographically is probably not for me, but I really, really just fuck with a lot of the production
It is
choices.
for everybody. You can be a Brat.
You can't
You
gatekeep
are
Brat.
so Brat.
I do fuck with it musically quite a lot.
Like it's so Julia.
Like every single track on here, I just really fuck with a lot. But because I see a lot of similarities with a lot of other like club music that I listen to. I don't know if I'd be the best person to explain it. It's
Okay.
really the big thing.
I think what made Brat so big was
Yeah.
the rollout behind it.
Okay.
It was supposed to be, well, it's funny because she talked about this in some interview where it was like the cover, she literally did that to cut cost. She didn't want to make, you know, she wanted
whole
to pay for a
thing.
photo shoot. She said, I'm going to do it myself. It's going to be grainy. And that's going
Which
to
is
be
really
it.
funny.
And she
Yeah.
picked an ugly green. And she's like, I never thought this green would take over the way it did. But I think that like putting so much like hype behind, I don't know, it's giving an album a life almost, you know, like it has all these characteristics of like, it's the Brat green and the cigarettes and the little mini skirts. And like, it has such an like
Like a brand
persona
kind of?
to it. Yeah. That I think that's what made it so impactful.
Okay, it was like
and
something that
so
you could
easy
embody.
to latch onto.
I see.
Like the masses, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like, I think colors, I talked to this before with somebody else, but colors to me in music this year in 2024 have been so big and important.
Yeah.
You got Brat Green. You got Sabrina Carpenter has that light baby blue. Chapel has the pink.
Yeah.
It's like, I think that makes it easy to like
associate.
anyone. Yes.
Yeah.
To be like, anytime I see anything green, I'm like, Brat truck, Brat this. And it's, but I think that's what made it make it to the masses, right? Because like you were saying, like that album I mentioned, like that's been critically acclaimed by like different YouTubers. Like people know about it, but it didn't hit the masses like this
like Brat did.
you know? And she's had hits. I mean, who can forget Boom Clap, right?
Exactly.
I love it. Even like Hot in It was really big at a point in time. Just so many features she's written on, so, you know, like she's done a lot.
She's been around, yeah.
She's not new by any means.
No.
But he's
Which
like
is
finally
funny.
getting her flowers.
I saw somebody calling her an industry plant, and everyone was like, girl.
I don't think so.
Where were you in 2013?
Because she would have been like way more hyped up if she was an industry plant.
She was always an opener. She was referred to as like a permanent opener. I saw her open for like 4 different people. That makes like, why was she opening for Taylor Swift? She opened for the Reputation tour.
Was it during like her Vroom Vroom stuff too?
I guess it was 2018.
I think it was
So
2016,
like, she
right?
had the bob.
Okay.
She had the bob in 2018.
I don't know what that
Full
means.
plastic suit, like that era Charli.
Like a bob cut. Like,
Bob cut.
Yeah,
the
like
micro
hair.
bangs. They just like, what are you saying? But then like in
Some
20
guy named Bob was just following. Sorry.
The classic duo, Charlie and Bob.
I think that same year she opened for Taylor Swift and she opened for Halsey.
Oh shit.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, very different.
Very different,
sides.
but like still, like Taylor Swift has always been huge,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
it's like to get to play stadium as a first of 3 opener, and still people like didn't get it.
Exactly.
And people didn't latch on. But then again, what were you singing to the Taylor Swift fans? Like, I don't know how much sense that made. But
Yeah.
I mean, every step led to here. And now she's playing those rooms.
Exactly.
It's true.
It was all worth it.
So insane.
Well, without further ado, shall we hop right into some history, Matt?
Let's hear it, Matt.
Sounds good. Give me 1 second because I wrote something nice and I don't want to fuck it up.
You got it.
Oh, cute.
So Brat, and it's the same, but there's 3 more songs, so it's not, by Charli XCX.
Yes, we're specifically doing that version.
We need to.
Yeah.
Was released on June 10th of 2024, 3 days after the bass release through Atlantic Records.
I get it. 3 days, 3 tracks. Look at that.
You think there was a correlation there?
I don't know.
I kind of believe there was.
Honestly,
She's
I
so
can kind
smart.
of like I didn't see that until you said it, so
That makes sense.
it is the 6-ish studio album of Charli XCX, and it's produced by A.G. Cook, Circuit, George Daniel, I've Gesaffelstein.
Don't look at me.
All right,
In the description.
Finn Kane, Hudson Mohawk, El Guincho, John Shave, Linus Wickland, Omer Fetty, and Charli XCX themselves.
Nice.
This phenomena of an album received critically good reception, at one point being #1 in the UK, Australia, and Ireland, as well as the top 10 in 12 different countries, including us. Metacritic also deemed this the 16th highest rated album of all time.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Damn.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. As it's soared through the radio waves and been streamed, it's no wonder that she is currently the 180th most listened to artist on Spotify, and that this summer was truthfully a Brat summer.
That was very
That
nice,
was beautiful.
I tried. I really
Look at
tried.
that.
I feel like my histories have been kind of like all over the place, so I've been trying to write some nuance in there.
Matt. Well, Matt, you knocked it out of the park with this one. That was very good.
Thank you, Matt.
Very Brat. Thank
Very
you, Brat.
Brat.
Thank you, Brat Glass.
We all have Brat names.
So, okay, first it was King Matt the Baptist,
Oh my
and now
God.
it's Brat Glass.
Oh, I forgot
I like
about
Brat
the
Glass
Baptist.
better.
That King Matt the Baptist was actually given to me by your brother.
That's right. He put all of our names in like an AI and like said like make rap names for all of us.
That is crazy.
Mine was like AJ the Super Genius or something.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's incredible. Yeah, no, spoilers. I'm really fond of this album, and I love it sonically from beginning to end.
This album changed me as a person.
It altered the brain chemistry of like so many people. Because I think despite it being very like club oriented and like kind of hyper pop, it's a really real album.
It is so vulnerable.
Yeah, when you peel back those layers. Mm-hmm.
When you like read the lyrics.
Yeah.
It's like sandwiched in between 2 like, you know, standard like club sounding beats. And while everything is club throughout sonically, the juxtaposition of like having these really vulnerable lyrics and like, you know,
Just hard hitting,
broken relationships, like all this fucking shit, dude, it hits hard. It really, really hits hard. ecstatic to talk about it.
I'm so excited. I begged to come on here to talk about this album.
Then let's hop right in with the opener, 360.
What a opener. Those beats. Oh my God. I remember hearing that. Well, that came out. That was the second single that came out.
Yeah, Von Dutch was first.
Von Dutch was first. Oh my God. Dun, 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 dun.
It's iconic.
It's so iconic.
She is so Julia.
She's so Julia.
We need to start like a ding noise every single time you say that.
All right, that's a no for editing me. So I do think this is a very good opener. Very much sets the tone for what we're going to get into. This is just a complete me reference. I think I mentioned it in the family meeting, but the keys sound like Pilot Red Sun, which is a YouTuber who makes very crude, absurd animations that I quite like.
I remember, you did mention this.
And his music sounds very much like those keys.
Oh, hell yeah.
So that was a cool connection. It is very catchy. There's a lot of references that I do not understand or get, except for the one about Sewer Slut, which I think is pretty cool.
My favorite line in this is "You don't gonna jump if AG made it." Like she throughout the album just shouts out her friends, just random people she works with and is friends
producers, with. Yeah,
it's so funny.
It is pretty cool. It's like if you're in the know.
It's so hype. That line goes crazy live though, because everyone's like AG.
I mean, I guess it is rewarding for like the people that like which is pretty fucking
that like
tight.
sit in the studio and like work on this for hours, and she's like, AG.
Julia Fox.
Yeah, Julia Fox.
All those other people.
Did you see Did anybody see? You might have, but the music video for this song.
I've not.
I've seen snippets.
So many celebrities.
Yeah.
Emma Chamberlain's also in it, which is a crazy.
YouTuber?
Yeah,
I've heard the name.
Crazy thing to throw in, but she like just star-studded. It's very Brat, for lack of a better term.
Dare I say?
It's sassy. The whole song is just so in your face, so like rah. It's a callback to Kesha.
She's just like Kesha.
She's just like Kesha. No, I really like the song. I think it's a great lead to open the album with this.
And it's it bookends like, too.
Yeah.
I personally like the song it bookends with a little bit more, but I do very much like the way this album starts out for sure. Like, because it, God damn it, it doesn't sound like anything that she's made before.
I agree.
Which I really, really think is cool.
Yeah, it's a little smoother.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. I feel like if
Before
you look
at
at
the crunch.
Yes. I feel like, well, how I'm feeling now, how that crunchy, like staticky kind of vibe, and then Crash, which came after, it was her pop album.
Yeah.
She calls it her pop sellout album. Like this was her like groovy, sassy, like
club,
very
house,
very
EDM.
Classic pop, like pop for Charli. Yeah, Crash.
Is that my fault? Yeah.
And then going into this, it just feels smoother. It's a smoother party. I don't know if that makes sense. Is anybody following me? Have I lost the viewers?
I don't think like she actually used this on here, but this album is giving like omnichord.
What's that?
It's like an instrument where, oh God, how do I explain this? It's like a machine where you press a button and through like a beat pattern, it'll just like hammer these chords. I'll show you a video.
Okay.
It's really hard to explain. I'm not doing a good job, but it's like a way for people to easily make music, and it sounds a little artificial sounding, but in like kind of a fun way.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what this album is to me.
No, yeah. That's a great way to describe it.
Yeah.
Like canned music, but she's making the most out of it.
Yeah, she's very self-aware.
And I think that sort of like sardonic nature is what I really like about this album.
I think it's very valid. If you got nothing else, we can move on to the next track.
Club classics, baby.
We got club classics, and it very much is a club classic. Your standard is kind of club track.
I just love that's like what you see is what you get.
Yeah,
she
pretty
said
much.
club classics.
Here you go.
And also it goes back to the I want to dance with G and just naming people like that's so funny.
I do love the chorus, but those synths are fucking amazing. I just love how they sound.
They're like sludgy at one point. It's kind of insane.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it was giving Homework by Daft Punk because I feel like associating them together
is insane.
Is kind of insane, but like low key, she's the only artist, or they're the only artists I can really think of where the repetitive nature of like the tracks, like it just works.
Yeah, that's kind of like
fair.
her bit.
And that's kind of how Daft Punk is as well. So I really fuck with it a lot, especially those synths.
Yeah, the synths in the chorus are so fucking nice. They sound very ethereal, which I dig.
I also just want to say early on, her use of autotune is amazing.
It's so tasteful.
It is.
And that's crazy to say,
Yeah.
but it's so tasteful.
It is. It's very purposeful and like in your
Yes.
face. It's like there for a reason,
It's
which is cool.
deliberate.
Yeah.
Like she uses it on top of the fact that she can sing.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing that's really, really cool.
It's an
about
artistic choice, not like a necessity.
Kind of like T-Pain.
Yeah. My favorite streamer.
Yeah, no, this song absolutely rips.
Like I said, it is what you see, is what you get. Next up, we got Sympathy Is a Knife.
So good. I have so much to say on this track. Does anybody know the lore of this track or the theories?
No, I just know it's very insecure.
You don't, Matt?
I don't.
Okay,
I just like
listen.
the music, man.
Okay, great. This is great because you have the musicality down and I have the lore down.
Okay.
So the rumors, and again, everything I'm about to say, I don't know if it's true. Speculation.
Hypothetically in Minecraft.
Sound the alarm. This is hypothetical.
Hypothetical. Nobody hold me at gunpoint. But from what I've read and from the lyrics and the, whatever,
Yeah.
it is thought the song is to be about Taylor Swift. Because at one point in time, Taylor Swift was rumored to be with Maddie Healy from the 1975. George
Yes.
Daniels, the drummer for the 1975, who was also Charli XCX's fiance.
Oh.
Okay.
So the lyric of like, I don't want to see you backstage at my boyfriend's show.
Oh.
Doesn't that connect? But it's about her
Okay.
being kind of like just jealous in a way of like, I don't know, pitting
it
women
is-
against each other.
Yeah, the song is like very like insecure in nature, where
Yes.
it's just like she's comparing herself to this like
Yes.
unnamed hypothetical person.
Yes.
And just like not and fearing that she can't reach up to those standards.
Yeah.
Which it is very vulnerable, but it's like buried under this like beat.
I think something about the like wailing of the chorus
Yeah.
too
Uh-huh.
is something like not different for Charli, but I think she uses it very purposely.
Yeah.
You
It's
know?
like a big like emotional break
Yes.
for her.
Yes.
And like you hear like the lyrics like, why do I want to buy a gun? Why do I want to
Wow.
shoot myself?
Yeah.
It's like, whoa.
So good though.
Yeah.
What a crazy just thing to put in so
know.
casually.
But it doesn't like feel like you're getting hit in the face with that lyric. That's the thing about it.
No, I think
'Cause
the way
it
it's
fits.
timed into like
Yeah.
it's the second verse.
Mm-hmm.
You got you warm up to the concept a little
Exactly.
bit.
And then you're like, oh,
Yeah.
oh, we're in it. I think I do like the kind of vocoded robot voice that happens like that's just all around this song. I guess it kind of like emulates this like cold feeling that's like she has, like this feeling of isolation and like insecurity, which is very cool. And I do agree, her vocal performance is a high point on this song. Just like how like the emotional range that she reaches, especially on the choruses with like those wails.
Yeah, it's interesting too because like, well, we're talking about original Brat, the deluxe version of Brat, but there was a whole remix album made
Yeah.
after Brat went big, basically. So the remix of the song is Ariana Grande on it, and they're
Yeah.
talking about fame. Like it kind of switches perspectives a little
see.
bit. So she feeling so vulnerable and like envious and kind of just like I'm so stuck now takes the other perspective,
Where it's like it's actually not that great, something
Yes.
like that. Yeah.
which is really interesting to me.
That is pretty cool, like playing with philosophy.
Well, because you'll hear again later in this, like the whole album, like there's traces of her talking about not feeling good enough, not feeling good enough in the industry.
Yeah.
Do I deserve commercial success? And it's interesting because it's like, this is the album that gave it to her. So this
is
is
true.
all of, you know, like, isn't that crazy?
Wow. That is it. It was really interesting.
Like she played some of the same rooms that Taylor Swift played. Mm-hmm. Maybe not
She was on
currently, but
SNL.
has. She's on SNL.
Yeah.
Her SNL was so good.
I liked
Anybody
it.
watch her
I saw
SNL?
the Shrek
I
bit.
did.
Shrek was crazy.
I saw clips from it, and she was really, really good.
Did you see her monologue?
I did not. I did hear the joke though about straight people.
Yeah, about straight. Where she was like, if you don't know my album, Brat, there's nothing wrong with being straight.
That was a good bit.
But yeah, Sympathy Is a Knife is a such a just, I don't know. It's really, I think lyrically it's very strong, which again, for Charli albums, I feel like people wouldn't necessarily maybe, especially like a Party Girl Charli album.
Yeah. For
You
people with
wouldn't-
like no reference for
Yes.
her. Yeah.
We kind of talked about like how people were thinking like she's an industry plant and stuff like that, but hasn't she kind of gone toe to toe with her label like a few times?
I'm sure.
Like I remember seeing TikToks of her like a couple years ago of her being like, when you want to make really interesting shit, but your label is just like, like we don't
Boom
want
clap.
boom clap, sound of my heart. No, I think what I really appreciate about this album, kind of as a side note relating to this, is that I feel like her creative freedom on this was like such a fucking power move.
Oh yeah.
Because in comparison to like everything else, like this is so different and like so vulnerable, kind of direct, but like not in a jarring way. Like, I don't know. There's sort of like a bitterness to this album that I really, really appreciate.
Yeah. It's very real. Which
It's so real.
Which is interesting because like the production, it doesn't sound like that, but like you go beneath those layers and you just see like the introspective lyrics and stuff. It is a very like impressively constructed album. And if we got nothing else, shall we move on?
Move along.
This next track I really like. I might say something stupid.
So good.
Yeah.
So good. The first like melancholy one you hear. But again, just the whole thing of her feeling like she's like in the industry, but not.
Yeah.
Again, the permanent opener syndrome, right? Of like you're never going to get big enough to be your own thing. You're comparing yourself constantly to the people around you. Very, very vulnerable.
Yeah.
And I love it.
And like you hear like her like delivery too. She just sounds like so defeated in this song. Even like the instrumental.
Yeah.
Like the pianos like sound like they're giving out, which is like really cool.
Yeah.
It's just like a really like well done, like honestly like, a relatable track to
I
listen to.
love how you can hear her British accent still.
Yeah.
That's something I always appreciate with British people when you can hear it
the
still.
inflections.
I just said it, but the launch. But I think it is a relatable feeling. I mean, she's obviously talking about like her place in the industry, but just the thing of like I might say something stupid, like that concept is like,
am I enough to
that's
like
how I feel
do what
every
I want?
day. Of like you speak to someone, you're like, what did I just say?
Oh, shit. What was I about to say is the real question.
Hopefully not something stupid.
He's just on fire.
Thanks, Elizabeth.
I was gonna say I think this is a good time to also bring up the fact that this album is paced really well.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
And that's what I really
sure.
like about. She knows exactly what songs to use to break up like the high energy parts with like these sort of like really vulnerable moments. And this song like is vulnerable both I feel like in theme, but also sonically too. I like how the only thing of percussion that they really have is like this little like cymbal hit.
Yeah.
Something about that I'm like, you know what? This scratches the thematic itch of my
It
brain.
does feel kind of empty almost.
Yeah.
You know,
skeletal.
and it's supposed to.
It's like her like at like her rawest like emotional state. And I feel like that's like probably like this or like another one is like probably like her most like emotionally raw, which is very cool. That happens like this early on the album.
I feel like with some of these more vulnerable breaks, there are these little like, I don't want to say chapters, but like sections in the album that are pretty iconic with like runs of songs.
Yeah.
Not that like the songs that break up the high energy songs are like any less iconic, but I feel like it helps kind of like lay it out a bit better, if that makes a little bit of sense. Like
No, that makes sense.
there are phases in this record.
Yes.
The BCU. The Brat Cinematic Universe.
Just all of our music videos.
That's awesome.
And that actually tracks because there are a lot of celebrities in
That is
like,
true.
the music videos collectively.
Maybe there's some lore. Guys,
There's
question
always
of the
some
week.
lore.
What's your favorite Charli XCX lore? Make a storyline for us in the
I'll
comments.
share one. My favorite Charli XCX lore, she used to, I don't know if she still does, but she used to play her like unreleased or older music as her pre-show playlist.
That's cool.
And there was one show she couldn't find it, so she tweeted for the link. And somebody had it.
That's awesome.
She couldn't find her own Google Drive link, so
funny.
she tweeted for it, and everyone had it.
Yeah, that fucking rules. That's really funny.
I saw it on TikTok, like that somebody was telling that story, and I was like, I forgot that happened. That is, she used to just be. I mean, she still is. That's the thing. It's like she still is so unhinged.
Yeah.
Nothing's changed. She's exactly who she said.
She's just popular now.
She's just popular now. That's all that changed. Like nothing about her.
Yeah.
You know, she's still like, she did a brand deal the other day, probably within the last like year. And literally it was for Samsung. She's filming it on an iPhone, but she's holding a Samsung phone. And she says in the brand deal, I know you guys know I get paid for this, but hear me out. It's like, girl, that can't be in the script.
She's playing to her audience.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it works because
Yeah.
it's like she's built, like you said, this persona.
Exactly.
Of like, I'm Charli XCX. But then this album goes back to like, I'm also a person.
I'm just a girl.
I'm just
really.
a
And
girl.
it's so confusing.
almost.
Not quite.
Not quite.
But next up, we have Talk Talk. And I really like Talk Talk.
I love Talk Talk.
I like Talk Talk too.
The background, from what I can find
They're
on
really
this
good
song,
80s band.
the background I can find on this song is that this was about her fiance. This was her literally at a party trying to get George Daniel to speak to her.
Oh.
Isn't that crazy?
I thought it was like a deeper thing about like communication and like not being super open about it. But it's just
I
like
think it can be.
It definitely can be, but from what she said, she's like, yeah, she's chasing this man down at a party.
fair enough. I think the chorus is very catchy on this one. It's one of like the more memorable like hooks from this album.
Yes.
And I can see why it's like one of like the bigger-ish tracks on here.
The perfect strut song.
Yeah.
It's got that right pace.
Uh-huh.
Like a hot girl walk pace. That's how you want to walk.
That's good to know.
The remix of the song is also good. Troye Sivan's on it.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I really like the production on this album.
Yeah.
Or this track. I mean, yeah, this album, but like
Specifically, Talk Talk.
yeah, this track has, I think, some of the best production on this record.
Yeah.
I think there's like a guitar in here somewhere, but like she makes it sound like the synths, which is kind of insane.
That is insane.
Like I like the way that she makes everything kind of like flush with one another.
Yeah.
But then in other tracks, it's like really like different layers like on top of everything.
I like when a chorus explodes. I feel like that's what this did.
Oh yeah, totally.
Like it builds the dun,
yeah,
dun,
I'm looking
dun,
at
dun,
you.
dun. Yeah.
It's like very subtle before it just explodes with the instrumentals. Yeah.
There's one moment later on that just, oh my God, when like the synths kick in, it was hitting me in the face, but like in the best possible way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think this is a very nice, like kind of standard track like on this record.
It's like more accessible.
We have like all the vulnerable moments, but like this one in theme and in like
sound.
Yeah. It's just very like, it's just like a standard pop song, which I think also kind of makes the album even more neat in that aspect because, you know, she's kind of talking about like the industry and like where does she fit and all this stuff. And like kind of harking back to like old pop music too.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like a lot of this is very like reminiscent of like older pop music.
Yeah,
which,
like this track is like super like 90s coded, like 90s club. Like I got like Aqua vibes from it, which is like really cool.
and it's where like she came up in like musically in the industry, like through sort of the girly pop, like over the last like few decades. So I don't know. I think it's like a really cool way of sort of making this album have a lot of like facets to it.
Yeah.
If that makes
Yes.
sense.
It is very layered, which you wouldn't get from the cover.
And I feel like this is the part of an album where you're a couple songs in, so it's like the middle work and something is like lost almost. And I feel like this is such a good like
like
I'm with you.
strapped in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm here.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Sympathy Is a Knife. Like once I heard that, I was like, oh, we're fucking
You're
in.
sold.
We are fucking
I was in from the first beat of 360. I was like, this is going to change my life the same way Crash did.
Shout out to former guest of the podcast, Maggie Ensel.
Ah, yes.
I listened to this album for the first time with them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Slay.
You had a buddy.
Right when it came
experience.
out, I was like, oh yeah, this is it.
Nice.
This
My
is it right
Brat
here.
tattoo was on my body 2 days after this album came out. I'm not even kidding.
Damn.
It was my friend's birthday, and I was like, this is it. We're getting matching tattoos.
This is my identity.
But if my mom's listening, I don't have a tattoo.
Yeah, hypothetically in Minecraft, she got a tattoo.
Hypothetically.
Yeah.
Are we ready to talk about
The lead single?
arguably one of the, if not the best, one of the best fucking tracks on this record? Von Dutch.
We got Von Dutch.
Holy
my God.
fucking shit.
Arguably, for an album rollout, right? Hear me out. For the year, I think the best lead single of the year. To come out of the gates from a like really pop Crash era,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
To go pop, but still has that like,
That like crunch to it.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. This is my song I put on when I'm in the airport and there's too many people around me and I need to get through all of them because
Yeah.
I'm running.
It's like a video game.
No, literally.
Yeah.
Freaking like runway walking, like power walking through the airport.
Pushing people out of the way.
That's what I do, guys. That's
Yeah.
my big Apple AirPod Maxes strutting through an airport. The thing about this song I love so much, but the little, and I don't know what it is, but that da-na, na-na-na, like woven in. Do you know what I'm talking about? Where it's the beginning. It's that na-na.
Oh, I think so. It is a really good build to the chorus before it just
So
fucking
good.
explodes.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And she it's a very nice like braggadocious song where she just like I'm the shit.
Oh, yeah.
which is awesome.
It has the same energy as 360.
Yeah.
But like a little more in your face.
Oh yeah, very much
You
like
know?
hardcore, which
Yes.
I dig.
Flashy.
Yeah.
I think what I really love about this track is that she uses autotune for pretty much like the majority of the album. But on this one, it's like so in your face that it's like kind of distorted and like a lot more like the only word I can think of is like sharp. Like it feels like her vocals are like really sharp on this one.
Yeah. I mean very much so. And it fits the tone overall, which is very nice.
I love the fucking repeat the your number
just
one.
thinking of that.
Your number.
Uh-huh.
Dude.
It sticks with you. And is this like about someone in particular? Like who she is on like the mind of?
I have no idea, but I remember I think if I'm recalling correctly, there was an interview where she said this is the only diss track.
Gotcha.
Diss track energy.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you know,
Yeah.
I'm your number one.
Whoever the fuck she was dissing, they got destroyed.
I would
Yeah.
like
Like
to
low
be
key.
on the wrong side, Charli XCX. I'll say that much. She is so cunt and cool that like she just ruined whoever that is. Whoever
Yeah.
she was singing about, I would never leave my house.
I think
Number
That'd be the
two.
end.
if we're talking about like club classics, this is fucking it right
Oh
here.
yeah, this is
Oh
gonna
my
be
God.
played forever now.
If I hear this in a club, I'm going to go ape shit.
Going
like,
feral.
I'm not
I
kidding.
will say in Nashville, I went to a club night right when Brat came out, sometime in June. They did like a club night where they only played Brat top to bottom.
Dude, I
And
fucking
my
wish.
God, oh my God, I was like, this is I would go out to clubs if this is how it was every night. Oh my God.
Like at a lot of her performances, she's been like DJing like her fucking set.
Her boiler room.
Sick.
Have you seen her boiler room stuff?
It's insane.
She's so funny because something like she can do all that, but if you watch them, she'll do it for a minute, then she steps back and then she wants back in. And then suddenly she's like squirming through whoever there is like, put me back in.
She has like Skrillex like intensity as she's on the board, just like fucking switching things. And people are just so hype in the background.
Oh, it's insane.
That was part of the reason why I really wanted to check out this album, because I was like, okay, everybody's getting fucking hyped as fuck. This must be amazing.
Again, I think the rollout, like the 2 singles being Von Dutch and 360 are so strong.
Yeah.
And then to have an album stronger follow is really hard to come by these days. I mean, I feel like with the way music is now and how it's like a TikTok fast grab, people focus on the singles and they forget about the album. So to have the singles be as good as the album, in my opinion, like that is crazy.
Like nowadays,
Yeah.
All the tracks on here are like so distinct from one another that like it doesn't feel like,
but they blend, and that's what's crazy. I'm like, how? But I think you're right with the placement. I think that helps tremendously, because I think if you did, a Kesha, how she did the first 5 are really intense. Like I think it would change it. Yeah,
you lose that identity.
Yes.
Even like the 3 bonus tracks, I feel like perfect. Like I'm glad they weren't on the base album, but like I'm so happy
they came
that
out.
they added them. Like honestly, just oh my God, I love this album. It's so
Me and Matt are just such fangirls. We're like, yes,
it's top 5 for me for a reason.
But also it's like, think of like, I think the party girl narrative comparing it to Kesha has changed slightly in the sense of like, yes, Kesha was like, go me, but this to me feels more like a self-confidence empowering like party girl versus more of a like, I like to drink.
Yeah,
party
there was like
low.
more of a specific party analogy tied
this
to that
is more
identity.
like I am so iconic
as a person,
which I think makes it more fun.
I agree,
in my opinion.
I want a 10th of the confidence that she like exudes in this song.
Yeah,
when
man,
you hear Von Dutch, do you not feel that though? Because I do feel like I feel that.
Not gonna lie to you, when I'm driving and this song comes on, it's a music video.
You're speeding suddenly.
Yeah, I'm going at 80 miles an hour
through the lanes.
Do you know how fast you're going? Officer, I'm Von Dutch.
I'm your number one.
I'm your number one. Officer.
Drives away.
I'm telling you, you should see me. You should see me in an airport. I am violent. This is like, I have a playlist of songs where I'm like songs that make me want to be violent because I love them so bad. Like this is one. That is just like, it's the best song to sprint to.
Yeah.
You're sprinted to this song. You all should.
Push people out of the way, stone-faced. Yeah.
Literally. It's like, I'm in charge. I'm your number one.
You're all irrelevant.
You're all irrelevant. It's
Stone
my world.
Cold Cavaliere.
That's a rap name.
That's her rap name.
Thank God.
That's how she introduces herself on tour.
That's right.
Actually.
Yeah, for sure. When I'm like leading the pack.
She
like,
plays Von Dutch in her office the entirety of the concert.
She gets a lead up to the actual show.
If you hear my little production office when I sit there, it's literally Charli XCX and Wicked currently. So
that's fair, honestly.
The duality of
the
man.
duality,
There's
literally.
green. There's a lot of green.
There is
a lot of green.
Yeah. And a little bit of pink.
Have you guys seen the Von Dutch video or clips of it? She's at an airport, actually.
Oh, shit.
Yes.
Is she going like feral?
We'll have to watch it after this. She's going insane.
Nice.
Let's fucking go.
God, this song's so good. AJ, did you like this song?
I did like the song quite a lot. I think it's like you said, a really good single to just like open up and just show what Brat is. It's like a very good thesis statement. Like you mentioned, having the number one repeat so many times is such a good dig because it really just like sticks with you, like really like just like sticks the knife in, just like how much like you are on that person's mind. And this is where I kind of notice how like her songwriting is like facetiously simple. Like in terms of like just like a bass list and like letting it wash over you, you don't think of like much of it. But there's like a lot of layers you can peel back on, even like the more like surface level tracks like this one, which is very interesting.
She said somewhere when she was talking about this album where she was like, I literally wanted to sound like I was texting a friend. Yeah. And she did.
Exactly. like not a lot of rhymes on here.
No.
Yeah, it's just like stream of consciousness.
Yeah,
it's perfect. But if we got nothing else to say about Von Dutch, shall we move on?
Moving on.
Next up, we have Everything Is Romantic. I like the strings a lot. I'm not the biggest fan of the song, though.
This song's interesting because like before this, there's like a slight orchestral motif.
Yes, which I dig a lot.
You get some orchestral hits here and there in some of the earlier tracks, but then on this one,
it's like a full like symphony almost.
And
it's
then
crazy.
she samples it like throughout the rest of the song, which is so fucking awesome. Like, you remember the pizzicato strings?
How could I forget?
That was a thing. Season 1. That was a thing. Season 1.
Thank God.
I'm pointing at the only two people in this room with me.
Imagine it, people.
Exactly. You can set
Picture
the scene.
this.
I love this song because I think it names such oddly specific things, but like I agree with her, you know? Like I see, it's so visual. You see the vision. I like how it builds. Again, the repetition of the like just changing the production to the bat tattoos on, you know, when it gets like a little faster.
The switch up is really crazy. It's like, whoa, it's a nice moment.
See,
It really is.
I had the privilege and the honor of seeing the Sweat Tour.
I see. Yeah.
I will wear that like a badge of honor until I die. But her staging for this was she had a cage, and then on top of the cage was a runway. And all the audience was like kind of against the cage. So she had like different layers she could like climb. For Everything Is Romantic, she's in the cage. And when that beat comes in, she's like grabbing at the things and shaking it and shaking it and like running back and forth. So I feel like that to me gave the song a new life almost of like, okay, it's more, it goes harder than like, because I agree. When I heard this, like first listen, it wasn't my favorite. I like it. I think this album's perfect. Let me set the record straight.
I agree.
I love every track on this album. But in comparison, it wasn't my favorite. But seeing that hype around when like the beat picks up and everything speeds up and she's like going crazy, I was like, okay, I see it a little bit more.
I mean, seeing like a song live can definitely change your perception of it.
Absolutely.
Like, a lot, so that's very valid. Yeah, I feel like in terms of just like what I like on this album, this song isn't really giving me what I like. So I like there's like a lot of repetition, but I feel like it goes on a little too long, especially at the end.
That's fair.
Where it just keeps dragging that out.
I could see that.
And I do really like the overall, like the string sample is fantastic. But the overall just like rhythmic staccato delivery of like the verses, I just don't really care for. I just think it's kind of whatever.
I think thematically it might not be like my favorite one in terms of like what she talks about in the song. But sonically, I love everything that is happening. Like, yeah, it's so cool. The way that she takes this like really flowy orchestral like sample that she has in the beginning and then just fucking chops it up. Like, God.
She said, hear this? No more.
You thought? If we got nothing else, we can move on to Rewind. This one's pretty fun.
I like this song. I feel like this song gets forgotten about a lot.
Yeah.
I want justice for Rewind. Like, I really do like it.
Yeah.
It's good, honestly.
I like it too.
It goes back to like the more 360 like esque kind of sound.
Yeah.
So it stays consistent with what you heard at one point in the beginning. But yeah, no, I mean, I think people should like the song more.
Yeah.
It's got this ripping bass synth that I really like too.
That is really cool.
I like, this is a song that has a lyric about like the Billboard charts and like commercial success, which again, the foreshadowing this girl had.
Oh, yeah.
Of like, you've been thinking about that? You're gonna...
Your wish is my command.
Literally, you're in for a big treat. But I
Something
think
an
that's
industry
interesting.
plant might say.
No.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I love
You
the
start
album.
more rumors. No,
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. I love that line. I love how it turned out. Because again, I'm sure that's like, she at this point is many, many years into a career.
Where she's not reaching the heights that she wants to.
And I kind of see Rewind as a song of her almost reflecting on that and being like, should I go back and like change some things?
When things were
like,
easier.
Yes. Yeah.
It is a very like relatable kind of sentiment where she just questioning her career, like where she is now, where she wants to go, and like does she just want to just give it all up and go back to how it was?
Yeah.
It's very cool. The hook is very pleasant. I like how like the fluttery keys that happen during the second chorus, and then like the little instrumental breakdown they have too.
Oh my god, the end, the barrel,
that part rips.
Another thing that I really appreciate about this album and just her production style in general is that like not her use of like autotune is great. I love the way that she layers a lot of these different like sometimes orchestral elements, sometimes like more dance pop elements, but more of like a niche thing. Her use of reverb is also so fucking cool because she can make like the most flat sounding like instrumental by itself so atmospheric by making her voice like on Von Dutch, for example, like pierce through this sort of like echoey, like almost like realm sounding thing. Like, I don't know. And on here, she uses reverb very well as she like builds up to the chorus, I feel. I forget what exactly is getting reverbed, if it's like vocals or like something else. But something was getting reverbed, and I was a happy camper.
Well, that's good to hear, Matt.
We're happy you're happy.
There's a lot of reverb, but I forget on what part in particular.
Next up, we have So I actually don't remember how the song goes.
So I is the ballad.
The ballad.
Yeah.
It's the slow one. And this one has a lot of lore behind it because it's about
Sophie.
It's about Sophie.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I am an uncultured audience member. Who's Sophie?
Sophie was one of her producers. She did Vroom Vroom, most notably, a couple other Charli songs. And this song just kind of reflects on after she died.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And there's like really vulnerable lines of like,
man.
I didn't call her.
Yeah.
Like I should have.
A lot of like guilt.
I should have
wow.
stayed for dinner. It
Yeah.
really goes into this whole like guilt. Like the guilt after a death and feeling like you could have
done more or I didn't do enough.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where it's like she reflects on how Sophie like pushed her in a good way, but that scared her and she regrets not kind of leaning into that more when she had the time. She didn't realize, time be cut short.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Which again, to throw this in on an album called Brat,
Yeah.
and just pay homage to that. And it's
Exactly.
also like there's a line where it's like, would you like this beat? Did you catch that? There's a
Yeah.
lyric somewhere in there where she keeps being like, I think you'd like this one, which is sweet. Yeah, I think she sung that one live for the first time recently. Like she hadn't been playing it live.
Did she not do Brat front to back on the Sweat Tour?
No.
Interesting.
She skipped like none of the ballady ones. She didn't do I Might Say Something Stupid. She didn't do it because she had to mix it in again. The girl's got some hits.
Yeah.
There was a lot that would be thrown in and she was sharing with
And
Troy.
it's called the Sweat Tour. You
And
want your
it's
people
the
to
Sweat
move.
Tour. Yeah. No breakdowns.
No.
Like she didn't even do this song called Party For You, which if you haven't heard, have you heard Party For You?
I don't know if I have actually.
It is arguably one of the best songs ever made, in my opinion. Like sonically and also just like conceptually. She always does that. She didn't do that on Sweat. So she skipped a lot of like the slower
Gotcha.
and saved that for her headline.
That makes sense.
But yeah, So I is obviously like super emotional and very, very vulnerable. But I think it was a good track to put on there, given how much her and Sophie worked together.
It's a nice tribute to like a very just like beloved figure in the music industry. It also kind of sounds like Runaway by Kanye at the end, which I'm not proud to say. That's just where my brain went.
Sure.
I think I might have a better comparison. I know you haven't seen the special yet, which get on that. It's been 4 years. But it kind of sounds like... Sorry, that was really aggressive.
That came at you so
That was
hard.
really fucking...
That's pissed.
That was so fucking aggressive. I'm so sorry. It sounds like All Eyes on Me by Bo Burnham.
Okay.
It has like this droning synth with like a bunch of reverb, but like it's really light and airy. I am so sorry, AJ.
It's okay. I was just trying to figure out what you're talking about.
You kind of made like a face like, excuse me? Like, and I was about to be like, yeah, get on that shit.
It's okay, man. I promise.
I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. Yeah, let the record show. This is exactly where the beef between me and AJ is starting.
Exactly.
They
in
fight all
our-
the time, guys.
In our fucking career. There are going to be documentaries about this podcast.
I was a witness.
You're going to be interviewed one day.
Thank God.
Yeah.
I want the attention.
The Brat episode incident.
It's going to be like Goblin Hunters. The iconic...
Mockumentary we all know and love.
Oh my
I
God.
love
Right, Family Heads?
I watch
I have
it.
to rewatch that.
I watch it every year.
I was just talking about that recently because I was like, why was I a reporter? Like, what film was that for? It was for Goblin Hunters.
For those who don't know, I made a short film in college called Goblin Hunters.
You should link it. Everyone should watch
I'll put it in the description.
It's low-key one of my favorite videos of all time.
Can we watch that after
You can
this?
watch Goblin
Yes.
Hunters, yeah.
Oh my
And
God,
the Von
yes.
Dutch music video.
They go hand in hand.
Continue. So I. R.I.P.
Very good
Sophie.
song.
A
Maybe
legend.
over dinner.
Yeah.
Whatever
What a
time
way
of
to
day.
celebrate.
Or lunch or breakfast. We can be recording this anytime.
That's true.
Nobody needs to know.
Exactly. This is recorded the day before it comes out, obviously.
Exactly.
Obviously,
Yes.
happy April Fools.
Happy April Fools. Happy March 30th. For 31st. Wow, that was really confusing. Girl, it's so confusing.
Oh my God, is that Lord?
Oh man. So do you know the whole thing with this song and also later
I
on?
think I kind of got the grasp
have
after
to
hearing
learn-
the Lord version.
You have to learn so much because there's such a history with Charli
I got
XCX
history.
and Lord.
Oh,
You
boy.
know, you seem to know this Lord.
This Lord. Sorry. Anyway.
If you will.
Sorry. Charli XCX many a time has gotten confused with Lord.
Okay. Just
She
like,
leans
in
into it,
appearance?
man. Oh yeah,
Okay.
like so because they had like the same. They say they have the same hair.
Yeah.
and they were around at the same time.
Both British.
Both British. Well,
Gotcha.
no, Lord's from New Zealand.
Both British adjacent.
Both
Not
accents.
American. Yeah.
Accents, but Charlie's talked about before where she's been like Ubers and they're like, we love your song. And she's like, oh my God, thinking like I love it. Or like boom clap.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, Royals is so good. She signed stuff as Lord before. Like she's very open about like,
That's
don't
so
lean
funny.
into it. But they had all this beef, obviously.
Yeah.
So when this first came out, everyone was like, this is about Lord. The Work It Out in the remix. That meme.
do.
You know that meme? That's so funny. You even had to see that where it's like they keep putting people together like that's Work It Out in the remix. That was such a bit. They put like Joe Biden and Trump being like they should work it out on the remix.
That's funny.
Like,
That's
they put so many, because that was the bit of like, fix all your problems on the remix.
Yeah, that's cute.
I don't know why I didn't really talk about it much on the family meeting where we were doing the top 10. This one is really, really fucking good.
Yeah.
The OG stands strong. I wanted you all to listen to the remix because I think it's so iconic.
Yeah.
The lyric of Lorde saying, when you walk like a bitch when I was 10, someone said that is crazy to throw in there. After she's like, my eating disorder.
Yeah.
And then throw that in there.
Exactly.
I like how Lorde leaned into like the Charli of it all, you know? Like it doesn't sound like Lorde featuring on a Charli song. It feels like Lorde is.
Yeah, she's embodying Brat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very much. I just love like the overall like melody that this track has.
Oh yeah. Another strut song for sure.
Yeah, true. And just like the sentiment is also really nice.
It's so true. It is
It's
so confusing
to be a girl.
No, because it's so many like, especially just like being a woman in any industry, I feel like is so competitive. It's like you're brought up to compete against other women. So the fact that it's like there's a song being like, it's so confusing. Are you my friend? Are you not my friend? Do you hate me? It's again, this album goes back to like the overall message, however she connects to it, is like pretty like relatable all across.
I definitely also just like it's like about not taking away that competitiveness and just like lifting each other up, especially on the remix is really cool sentiment. And also I was gonna say this is where I noticed like there's not a lot of rhyme schemes like all over these tracks. It's like more the stream of conscious delivery, but it does really like work. It also emphasizes the feeling of like insecurity that this song is all about. Very much like conveys that very well.
Music wise, this again, the bass synths, she just really knows what she's doing, but this one's like all crackly.
Yes.
And it's just something about that. I was like, I love how more like progressively unhinged as we get to like closer and closer to the end of the album.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like building to 365.
Yeah.
Because 360 to me sounds very clean in terms of production.
365, I don't want to spoil it, but there is a part in that where I want to like mosh to it. Does that make
365
sense?
makes me want to crash a car. We'll get there though.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll get there.
I have to drive home, so maybe don't put that idea in my head.
Maybe you listen to Crash.
Yeah, that'd be way more appropriate.
But yeah, I like this one a lot. I think it's
So
really good.
The last line of Lorde's where she's like, "But I ride for you, Charli," is so like
it's like a wholesome moment.
It's so wholesome.
Yeah.
It's like years of like back
Art
and
complete.
forth. She came out at New York Sweat and sung that with her, and they dressed the same. It was crazy.
That's funny as fuck.
She emerged from like the floor, and they're in the same outfit.
That's really funny.
Same hair. So good.
Good for them. Glad the beef is settled and they're friends.
Thank God. Yeah.
Was the beef like anything else besides the fact that people were confusing each other?
I think it was just them getting confused, and like from what the song says, just like them being at parties and not knowing if the other one wanted to talk to the other one. You know, just like this weird competitiveness of like we are on the same field, we're being compared, who's better, whatever.
Are we friends or we not? Yeah. Next up, we have Apple, and this is my favorite track on the album.
Wow, really?
I love
It's Apple time.
I can see why.
Has anybody seen that video?
No.
She yells at one point on the Sweat Tour. She goes, "It's Apple time."
Like it's Morbin time.
Just suddenly the beat comes in. There's also a video of her with the song just smoking, fully smoking during it. She did not sing half of it. She's standing there with a cigarette.
That's awesome.
And everyone's like, yeah.
Charli's kind of rugged, like low key.
She's never changed though, and that's what I love. Where it's like you look at her 5 years ago, same thing, same vibe.
She's very self-aware.
She's very self-aware.
Yeah.
She's
a lot of layers of irony that she plays with. Yeah.
And she's so funny. And I feel like you see this more in this rollout than you. She's leaning more into it than maybe she has. Because again, the Crash tour had so much choreography. It was great. It was a beautifully done tour. But again, very like pop star.
Yeah.
She's up in the rafters with a cigarette, letting the crowd sing Apple back to her. Yeah. And the thing with Apple, the whole message is like
family trauma.
Family trauma.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
The apple's rotten to the core.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just like
breaking that cycle.
Yes.
Because she wants to be like a seed that blossoms into something better.
Yes.
Yep.
But she's being stifled.
And then somehow a whole TikTok dance came from it, and that's how
It did.
That's
a very silly
crazy.
TikTok dance.
So good though. They had on the Sweat Tour, they also had someone do that every night.
Really?
They looked for the Apple girl and they'd throw it in the crowd.
Nice.
And then they'd do it. It was funny because there was one night, I think it was Denver, somebody did So Wrong and she has her auto-tune on her mic and she's going, wow, a nice variation of the Apple dance. I have to add that to our mental list of things to watch when we're done. You have to see the video because she just is watching the screen being like, wow, a slight interpretation of the Apple dance.
Oof. That's
so
gotta be
funny.
rough.
Some really twinky gay man, so high, tried his very best.
Yeah.
And did not.
Gave it his all.
But this song, it's so funny because that's like, nobody thinks of it as like
no.
a family trauma song. But
Yeah.
if you listen to it, you're like, what is she saying?
Exactly. Yeah, feeling about those layers definitely like really made me appreciate the song a lot more. And just like, I think it's easily the most accessible track on the album.
Yes.
It has like the least like crunchy kind of production to it. It's very smooth all throughout.
It's like 360. It's like
Yeah.
it could be a single because of
Exactly.
how put together.
Yeah, it sounds
is.
like it's the most like traditional song I say like on this album, which
yeah.
I definitely like a lot. I just love how the keys sound. It's very memorable and clever with like the whole Apple metaphor. And there's like some nasty fucking synths at the end that like really just like send it off like
It's like
perfectly.
bouncy too.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's great, honestly. This is another instance where like the little orchestral hits kind of happen every once in a while, which I really like. I see why it's the single.
Was it a single?
No, it's not.
It could
It's
be a
not
single, though.
I
see why it got
could be a
popular.
single.
It's
Yeah.
no, yeah. It is definitely one of the most popular
Very
ones.
much, yeah.
When you think Brat, it's like 360 Von Dutch,
Apple.
Apple, probably 365. And
Yeah.
maybe Girl So Confusing. Or
I
probably the
forget.
top 5 people can name.
I forget what the actual third single this album is because it is
Did they have
360.
a third? Did they have a third
Did it come
single?
out like after the album? Maybe.
Maybe I don't know.
I think it might have just been those two and then Brat.
Gotcha.
Or-
Very possible.
In the description, we'll put it there.
Yeah, we'll figure out those details. I don't quite remember much.
I need to look now.
Matt's going to figure out now.
All right, we'll
thank
be
God.
right back.
Apple was the third single,
Wow.
Did it come out after the album?
August 2nd.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Well, that there again. She's being smart because that's probably one that TikTok
Yep.
and she said, "Let me make it," so that people probably on her Spotify could see
Yeah.
that
Go
first.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Look at her.
God, I love
She
her.
learned so much.
She is such a businesswoman, and
Yeah.
nobody gives her credit. She's so smart. I encourage everyone to go listen to her Zane Lowe interview. I love Zane Lowe. Have you guys seen those? The
No.
Apple Music Zane Lowe interviews he does with artists.
I don't think
Really, it's like what Zach Sang wants to be. You know?
Oh, Zach Sang. I know
yeah.
him.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's like it's really in depth, but it's so polite and so about the music. And Zayn,
Way less invasive.
not invasive. No,
Yeah.
it's all about the music, and he takes so much time to like look into it and let them talk and whatever. It's a really good interview.
Gotcha. Next up, we have B2B. I don't really like this one.
Really,
I think it's
not
pretty
a
good.
favorite.
it's so funny because I think when the album first came out, I would have agreed with you.
Yeah.
But circling back to it, something about how it builds. Just I could run through a wall when that like when that back
yeah,
back,
it just
and then
repeats over
and
and
then
over.
it goes in that like strut of the na, 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 na.
Did she perform that on the Sweat Tour?
No.
Interesting.
Again, it was the Sweat Tour was the hits
Okay.
of
gotcha.
everything from Brat. Plus again, because Troy had to do all his stuff.
Yeah.
And she also has like all her other old songs.
All her other albums.
But I'm sure like she's doing a Brat tour this year. I think in the next month because it's April Fool's. So she'll be doing it in the next month.
Whoa.
But I'm sure it's going to have a lot more of just
Yeah,
obviously
all Brat stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love the production on this again. Lyrically, I mean,
Yeah.
conceptually, it's like just keep going back to somebody. Great. It happens. Again, relatable, you know?
Yeah.
I do like the way that like she has the word back like repeating because it's hitting on like the triplets of like the standard like
The
1,
back,
2, 3, 4.
back. That
I
part.
fuck with that part like a lot.
Yeah.
And it's also kind of a nice callback to how like Von Dutch was with its repeating like
Oh yeah, the number
That's
one.
true.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I really appreciate this track for being really consistent. I can kind of see it maybe being like a little forgettable in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah.
But like I still think it's pretty solid and
For the end of an album, it's still really interesting.
oh for sure.
Which I think is so hard.
My
to do.
fatigue was like not hitting me at all
No.
with this record.
That's good. I feel like you mentioned with the repetition on Von Dutch, I think I'd prefer that more just in like the context of that song and also
Yeah.
because it's not as like as in your face as this one.
Yeah. I get
Because there's a
that.
lot more on this track, which kind of like takes me out
This
of it a
one
little
feels
bit.
so much more clubby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Like this was her track that was like, this is my club. It's
Yeah.
like club classics. It's like
Exactly.
this is
Time
what
to
you can
dance.
play. Yes.
But yeah, I got really nothing else. I do got some stuff about Mean Girls, though.
I have so much about Mean Girls.
Yo, that fucking piano solo. Holy shit.
It's crazy because never did you see that coming. Why is there a piano thrown in the middle of that?
And why is it fuck so hard?
It's so good.
It's incredible.
Oh my God. I want to sing. Every time I go to say something, I want to sing it because that's just how I hear it. But this whole concept is so good. Yeah. Because it's really like Mean Girls are kind of slay. Like sometimes. And just painting this picture.
Yeah.
That everyone can see. I think, again, the imagery on this album and this rollout is what made it what it was.
Like the Lana Del Rey AirPods.
She's describing what being Brat is.
Exactly.
And she's giving a costume to it almost, you know? Yeah. And so the Lana Del Rey thing is so funny because she just described like a Tumblr girl in 2014.
Yeah.
But maybe they do know more than us. I kind of believe that.
Possibly.
I like Lana Del Rey, but very casually. But then there's girls that like love Lana Del Rey, and they maybe have more to life than I do.
Apparently, like her concerts are haunted.
Lana Del Rey.
Anybody see that shit?
No.
I believe
People are like seeing demons and shit at her concert.
That's pretty crazy.
That checks out.
Like apparently like anytime people try to get video or pictures of like any of the crowd or whatever, like the camera keeps getting like tricked and like distorting everybody's faces.
Like Slenderman.
I guess.
That's crazy.
Awesome. So
wait, I kind of love that.
She brought it back from Waffle House.
I think Lana Del Rey might be a creepypasta. But I respect it, you know?
Lana.exe.
Jesus.
This song I really appreciate because I feel like it just builds like so well.
Yeah,
it starts off like so small and then it just gets so like grandiose by the end. Plus, like this is another song I feel like that I could get like violent to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like I could really fight somebody to this.
Like those
absolutely.
Synths, I said like those synths they like cut like a knife, just like they're so sharp.
Comes in.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's unreal, honestly.
It's insane how her mind works.
Yeah.
I literally wrote in here, the production is so good, I'm going to cry.
No, literally.
Yeah.
Like,
it's definitely a highlight on the album for me. I really like it a lot.
Especially to have it like toward the end, like you said, and still have like so much energy and like stuff to look forward to. Like,
yeah, third to the end is pretty impressive.
So
really is.
thoughtful. So thoughtful. Every choice is calculated.
Also, the synth like saw lead harmony thing.
Yeah.
Fucking buzzing in your ears.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Jesus Christ. I love it.
She knows what she's doing.
She really does.
Next up, we have, I think, an underrated track I think about all the time.
Like, why did we go from Mean Girls to questioning motherhood?
Right? Exactly.
Like, this album's a roller coaster.
That's
really
just Brat,
is.
right?
And it's so, again, because it's going back to thinking about her career and like what she values and what she wants. And again, so interesting just given the last year and like what came of that album. It's a very interesting track. Again, I connect this to like Girl So Confusing where it's like, yeah, that's definitely on people's minds, you know, like, like your fertility window is so small. And again, like with her career, especially a career as demanding as like being a touring artist where it's like your job is to be pretty and perceived as young, you know, that's just what the industry is. So very fascinating to me. And again, I have not heard a song like that, let alone an album called Brat. That's like so crazy.
And be pulled off very well
too.
Yeah.
To fit with it where it doesn't stick out like a sore thumb.
It just fits right in.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like this track in particular and like kind of Girl So Confusing, it kind of reiterates the point that like you can be a bad bitch but still have feelings.
Yeah. Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
True.
Party girls are vulnerable.
That's what Brat's all about.
Yes. Absolutely.
I mean, like, yeah. I don't know. Just, it doesn't feel, even though like thematically it might feel a little bit like we got from Mean Girls to here, holy shit. Again, it doesn't feel jarring because she already established like the tone. Like,
there's
she's got a lot of things on her
whiplash.
mind. You know what I mean?
All different directions.
I think
Why do you think she's party?
No, again, like the pacing of it, like just throwing those like more somber songs in where she did, again, just takes on the journey of like, that's Brat. Brat is vulnerable. It's in your face.
Totally.
It's very manic and back and forth.
Slays.
But it slays.
Yeah.
Yes. No, literally.
I fuck with it. That was my shoulder that just popped a second ago.
That was hot.
Do it again.
It's very Brat, you know?
Wait.
Get some nice
my
ASMR
neck.
today.
God damn.
Wow. I'll crack my knuckles and tap the mic. There we go.
Whoa. God, we're so good at
Look
this.
at that.
I have
Guys, if you want an ASMR channel starring the three of us, poll the week. Who wants an ASMR channel?
ASMR of Matt's arthritis.
That's what the A stands for.
They call my name is an acronym. Yeah. Question of the week. What do the other fucking letters stand for?
Matt's arthritis, TikTok.
Yeah, I'm not on TikTok. Like, you can't find me on TikTok, but I'm on TikTok.
Yeah, he's on the track TikTok. He did the percussion with his body.
They call me Bubble Wrap on these streets.
Bubble Wrap Matt.
Bubble Wrap Matt is crazy.
So many nicknames today.
Yeah, dude. I got that clout.
Yeah, man.
Shall we continue?
Sure. We're at the end of the bass album. We got 365.
What a way to end. It feels like a closer. Like the way 365 ends.
It's like a journey.
That's it. Yeah. We were Brat. We lived it.
Cocaine.
That's it. Has anybody seen, you might have the clip of her in a different interview talking about how she wrote this song?
No.
And so the basis of this song was, and the production wise, each part of it was supposed to be like you're in a different room at a party. So it starts, you're in the main room, you're fine.
I remember hearing something
It gets
about
a little
this.
like, she's like, the Daft Punk room is to your right, you're in the bathroom. Like, you're not well.
Yeah.
Where it's like the whole part where it's like, dun, dun, and that big breakdown is her being like really well. And then someone's like, lock in. And then you're just like, lock in. That's where bump, 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 that whole end part that really builds. Mm-hmm. But she's like, I wrote about just running around a party. Yeah. Like the different stages. And that's how they end up Brat.
I mean, that's kind of the perfect way to do it.
Just also the tagline of 365 Party Girl.
Yeah.
You're kidding.
Every day.
Like, you're literally kidding. That is so... I have a shirt that says that. I've never done drugs in my life.
But you're a party girl.
But I'm a party girl.
Yeah. Brat's an idea.
Brat is...
It's a concept.
Like, it's a concept. It's a feeling.
Yeah. It's an identity.
It's an identity.
It's not something you have to follow.
No, I am Brat.
Yeah, exactly.
And I believe that in my heart. In my heart of hearts.
Charli taught me.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I do agree. This is definitely like a nice full circle closer. And like you said, like having just like the different kind of party rooms is a really nice encapsulation of what this album's all about. Mm-hmm. And I think it's solid for what it is. I like the techno buildup and the birth of the Brat mantra, because I believe this is when she says it.
Yeah. This is, yes.
So yeah, it's perfect for what it is.
It bookends the album perfectly. The fucking song, as like, you know, you're kind of just chilling, vibing. It's the closer. But then you get to this one part toward the end where it just absolutely fucking explodes in your face.
Crazy.
The best way I can describe this beat, and I don't know why I got laughing to myself about this. I said fax machine core non-derogatory.
Okay.
I don't really know what that means, but I thought it was funny. Like, I mean this.
That's new merch.
Yeah,
coming out soon.
Fax machine core. That implies there is a derogatory way.
Parentheses.
Offensive. It also reminded me, like, toward the end with the way like the beat and like the synths explode. Have you ever seen videos of like people putting viruses on their computer and how they have like a weird like musical quality to them?
No.
That's what this sounds like.
Interesting.
There's a virus. It's a famous one called like saline.exe. Not Axe. Not Axe.
That's
body
the creepypasta.
spray.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Saline.exe, and like if it gets on your computer, it has like a weird like musical quality to it.
Yeah.
I saw this dude like remix it.
Oh shit.
And that's kind of what this song sounds like.
She would probably find that such a
love
compliment.
It. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I fuck with this closer a lot. I think it's why I fuck with it more than 360. I just think like at this point in the album, it's like such a nice payoff. Mm-hmm. And also it just sonically sounds really fucking good.
So good.
That's valid. But this is Brat with 3 more songs. So
that's the bookend of Brat. We got 3 more songs, came out 3 days later. I'm sure that was purposeful.
Yeah.
God, I love her brain.
These bonus tracks start off with Hello Goodbye, and I think it's probably my favorite of the 3.
Really?
Because I prefer a different version of Guess. I like the Billie version.
The Billie
better.
Eilish version, yeah.
Interesting.
No, I would agree.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that, but that's interesting for you.
Really?
I wouldn't have guessed that.
Gotcha.
Hello Goodbye to me, I think is my least favorite of the 3.
Which I can see why.
Yeah.
It's just that like I guess spoiling my thoughts. I don't care for Spring Breakers. I like the Billie version of Guess.
My heart.
So Hello Goodbye is the only option.
You shot me. That was crazy.
I'm sorry, Elizabeth. We'll get there when we get there.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll fight in a minute.
Exactly.
I do like Hello Goodbye, I think, the most out of these 3 as well. Because I think I share the same sentiments about Guess liking the Billie version better.
Interesting.
Do you not like the Billie version?
So listen, I had some gripes with the Billie version when it first came out because I think to hear Billie's voice that way was really jarring at first.
Yeah.
And also she went from Lunch into this like very hyper gay, fuck, hey mom, it's lesbian kind of vibe, which I didn't love at first. Now, given some time with the song, I do love the Billie version, but I also loved Guess when it first came out. Like I was such a rooter of Guess. Again, it's more the clubbier ones.
Yeah, very much. Yeah.
Hello Goodbye, I don't know. Hello Goodbye to me, again, I guess it also could be described as one of the more clubbier ones, production-wise, and just the repetition. But I don't know, it just didn't stand out to me
Which I think is valid. Because like when I first listened to this, I had the same sentiments, but like going back on my re-listens, I just like how more traditionally melodic it is. It just sounds like a lot more like accessible.
That's fair.
Which is, I guess, like my theme of this. I like the more accessible tracks.
That's fair.
Like the chorus, like those chugging keys that build up with the bass is like really fucking cool, and like the drum hits in the background also add to that build.
Yeah,
and I just like her performance a lot too on here. Like just like the way she sounds is very like captivating.
Again, it's more of the wailing almost, which you see kind of in Sympathy Is a Knife too.
Yeah,
like the
that emotional like high point. Yeah.
Kind of adding to your point about it sounding a bit more accessible. The last 3 tracks, they're so different from one another, which I really, really appreciate.
No, I hate when a bonus album or a bonus track just feels like it's like, what is this?
Exactly.
It's like you threw it away and you threw it back on.
I'm looking at you, Animals remix. Sorry. Yeah, no, I really like this track a lot. I like how the synths, they sound like chirpy, like almost like something like a bird-ish quality to them. I think this one dips more into like the sugar sweet pop, and it's cool. It's cool. I'm glad it's not on the bass album, but like I'm glad that she added it as extra content. That's the thing.
It's like all these songs fit with Brat, but they don't fit on Brat. And I get the creative direction.
That's a really good way to put it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if they were on the original, it would stick out.
Yeah.
But because it's the deluxe, it makes sense.
Yes. Holy shit. Damn, that is really good.
Thank you.
Guys, round of applause for Elizabeth. That was great.
We can just wrap up, honestly. I think we're going to keep going.
That's like, I'll get out. No, we have to keep going because I'm going to fight both of you about Spring Breakers.
That's true. So I guess we can move on to the next track.
Guess. Guess is iconic for some lore for the live version. She walks on the runway and there's a mirror. Again, picture the cage, right?
Yeah.
On top of the cage is the stage.
Yeah.
Right? And there's a mirror like screen basically where a camera can look up and you can see through the stage. She walks to the end of it. She spits on the ground.
Nice.
She licks it. She kisses it, leaves a lipstick mark, and then she gets up. And it's from that downward angle. So you see her like crawling on the ground as Billy's verse plays. Which I think is just so... It fits with that song so well though. You know, like if she was doing that to like Sympathy Is a Knife, it's like get off the ground, you know? But like this... Just that like
that energy
again, that beat in Guess, that build where it's like, yes. And again, the repetition I think is really good. It's again, it feels to me more like a party girl song. Like it's very sexual, but not in your face as much as some other calling back to Kesha. Like it's not super, but it still has those hints of like it's a slutty little song.
Talks a lot about underwear.
Yes. I did dress up as her for Halloween and we did buy a lot of pairs of underwear for that.
Nice.
It was very fun.
I can imagine. Yeah, like I said, I like the Billy version better. I feel like just because I think I heard the version first, so like that's like my like ideal version.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because like going from that to like hearing just her on like the second verse, I was like, oh, this doesn't sound as good to me.
That's fair because it is just I don't even think it's a different second verse.
No, it's the same verse over again.
That's why Billy's was added a little bit. Makes it less of a club and maybe more easily digestible.
Yeah, I would say so.
So funny tidbit about the song related. My wonderful brother Andrew has been a guest on here a couple times. He sent me a video of very drunk at a club, and he's yelling. He's going, "Guess by Billie Eilish is playing." It was. I'm not kidding. Not even remotely close to the beat of Guess. It was not that song.
It's also not by Billie.
It's by Charli. So he sent me that video. I let him sit with that thought. Right, I didn't answer him. He texted me like a day later and was like, it was not Guess. It's like
he thought about what he did,
but it was the sentiment of it was he heard it, he thought of me, and he tried.
That's sweet.
Wrong beat, not even close. I mean, it's hysterical how different the beat is.
Yeah,
and it's also not by Billy, but it made me laugh. He tried real hard.
Matt, I have a question for you.
What up?
Is the pre-chorus or the chorus, is that a reference to Technologic by Daft Punk?
I
spit it, something's all up in it, that thing.
It definitely sounds like it. Yeah.
Again,
like
referencing these producers. Send to the Dare.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because he'd be into it, yeah.
He did the Billy version. Or maybe he did both. He might have done both.
Yeah.
Isn't that really funny, though?
Yeah.
I assumed it was.
I like it a lot.
She does like Daft Punk.
Europeans love fucking Daft Punk. they fuck with it so
eat
hard.
That shit up.
So do us.
I mean, that's true. That's true. It's not Tom.
No, not Tom. Listen to our Tom Hates albums on Random Access Memories.
We're going to make him listen to fucking Human After All next.
Yay.
God.
Or Discovery.
Oh, God.
You don't want to cry? I
don't want to cry. I saw the movie. I don't want to cry. Man, Bop It really changed from how I remember it. It's crazy. I don't remember all these instructions. I got to say.
They should make merch of that.
Brat Bop It.
And it's her branded.
I
forgot.
And it says, get all up in it.
365 party girl. It's like thrown in there.
I forgot that I wrote that, so I was genuinely trying not to just like.
That is so funny.
Matt, I'm glad you saved that. That was good.
I
so
really
good.
tried. I really tried. Yeah, I do like this track a lot, actually. I feel like I need my whole like drawback with it is that I feel like I need to be in a really particular mood to like want to seek it out.
It's a very party song.
Yeah,
It's another good strut song.
it is fucking like it's a great track. Honestly.
A lot of ammo for the airport.
So much for the airport.
The fucking modular synths on this track are insane. Just these again, really like sludgy, like really just like almost gritty sounding.
Oh
like,
yeah, man.
Oh my god. Yeah, no. Belongs with Brat, but I'm glad it's not on Brat.
Yes. What I do miss that the Billy version has is the ending of the Billy version when she's like, you want to guess the password to our Google Drive. Like all those stupid ad libs that are so funny. Like I love that personality in that one.
Which I think it's missing a little bit on this one. But last up, we have Spring Breakers.
So we have to talk about the original Spring Breakers first.
Yes.
Not the Kesha one.
Yeah.
Because my hot take is I do not like the Kesha one.
That's pretty valid.
Okay.
I didn't think much of
Do you
the
know
Kesha
what
version.
Spring Breakers is about?
The
Do you
movie.
understand the concept?
At all.
No.
There's a
Nobody
movie
has any
called
guesses?
Spring Breakers.
There is.
Vanessa Hudgens, Selena
Selena
Gomez,
Gomez.
Ashley Benson.
I
They're
never
just
saw it,
half
but I know
naked.
about
James
it.
Franco's also in it. It's a crazy movie.
Immediate. I'm not watching it.
It's insane. It's not good. It's just insane.
I fucking hate James
No.
Franco.
He's the grow up hair casting, it didn't age quite well.
Spring Breakers is about the Grammys. And about how she never gets recognition at the Grammys. So if you look through the lyrics of it, and it references all her songs. Hold on, I need to get the lyrics because
that's kinda tight.
It's too good to not bring up because it's so easy to miss, right? But it's so funny because she got nominated for 8 Grammys.
I never won.
Well, this year she got nominated for 8. They are happening.
They
happened.
Yeah.
She won.
All of them.
If you remember what happened at the Grammys,
Write down in the comments.
yeah.
Because we
Please.
already do.
we want to fact check you to make sure you're
Exactly.
correct.
So it's literally the whole concept of her blowing up the Grammys because they don't
Gotcha.
recognize her. So the whole thing, like, it starts at vroom, 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 vroom.
Yeah, vroom, vroom.
Vroom, vroom. February 10th, gonna pull up Staples Center. What the fuck is up? Hit the worst dress list because every word show she goes to, she gets put on the worst dress
Really?
list multiple times. Boom, whole place went boom, 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 clap. Boom, clap.
Yeah.
So it pays homage to all, and it's her getting like arrested at the Grammys. Also, the Now I'm on the News with a DUI stare is such a good lyric. Anytime she sung it live, she'd pull her sunglasses up for like the only time of the show.
Nice.
You see her eyes. Also, the "Hi, it's me, you're all in danger."
Yeah.
Crazy. But then also in this song, I love the switch up where she's like, on the flip side, like, I'll thank God in my speech, I'll be really good if you give me a Grammy. It's so just like toying with the idea of like whether you, the award and the level of award and what that does for an artist and what it means. Like she's kind of like poking fun at that. And like,
Yeah, I don't need that.
I don't need it. I'll come blow up the Grammys. Don't worry. Don't give me
Exactly.
one. So the fact that she's nominated for so many, everyone's like, they have to play Spring Breakers if she wins.
That'd be pretty cool. I didn't really care for it that much. I felt like it sounded like Saints Row music, personally.
It is that talky, like the na na na, like it's kind of
Stream of
just like,
consciousness.
yes.
Yeah.
Again, it
Not
feels
lot
like a
of
joke
melody.
song.
Yeah. Which I mean, kind of is kind of like a
Yeah.
good sentiment for the album. It's just kind of like,
Yes.
it's gonna end on whatever.
Yeah,
And I like the overall, I guess, like message about it is really cool. I just don't really like the song,
that's fair.
like as it's constructed.
I think unfortunately for me, it might be like one of the most forgettable of like everything we heard. I think objectively it like sounded pretty good, but like I didn't really take away anything like, oh yeah,
I'm not in danger.
yeah, I didn't feel like I was in danger when listening to this song.
Good. As you should. It's funny because this made the Sweat Tour set list.
Oh, really?
But you know why? She originally had, do you guys know the song she has about, it's called Boys?
I don't think so.
I was busy thinking about boys.
Is it on Crash?
No, this is
no.
like a single. But she put that on there. She got flamed. I mean, everyone was like, why the fuck is Boys on the set list? And she was like, fine. And then she put Spring Breakers on.
Nice.
Like 3 shows had Boys, and then she was like, I'm over it.
Yeah.
And switched.
That's pretty cool.
Isn't that funny? She was bullied into a whole new song
That's
on this
wild.
huge tour. They scrapped it.
Wow. I mean, I guess it was the right call then.
Oh yeah, because
Yeah.
it's fun live.
Yeah.
Because again, it's that whole like
I'm in danger.
You're not in danger, but you don't necessarily feel like you're not in danger. You know what I mean?
Everybody gonna go Spring Breakers.
I love a girl that keeps me on my toes. What are you gonna do, girl? We don't know. We don't know.
But yeah, those are my thoughts. I think it's just kind of whatever.
Now we had to end with the Kesha version.
Of course, full circle.
And here's something I wonder if you guys picked up on. Kesha's verse to me sounds very much like 2010 Party Girl versus Charli's.
Yeah, it's
and it
nice,
was interesting to see it put together.
Yeah.
I think it pays homage to both them. Again, I love the verse so much of Charli's, and I hate that they didn't just like put it with Kesha's. I will say, I will brag once more. I saw the Sweat Tour in LA. Kesha came out and did this live.
Oh, really?
So but Charli knew that everyone would get pissed if she didn't do her verse. Did her verse, then Kesha came. They sung it twice, basically.
Gotcha.
And then they sung TikTok. It was crazy. See those two in the same room together.
That's pretty cool.
But I do think it's interesting that Kesha came in with this really aggressive sexual, but again, like a grow a pair sexual.
Yeah.
Tension vibes.
Yeah, like the line about like sucking my dick or whatever.
Yes.
I don't think
Which
there's
is
sexual
like-
tension in Grow a Pair.
It's quite the opposite, actually. That's the issue.
No, but like nothing on Brat is that like in your face sexual.
It's
but
a
it's
lot
still
more
party
subtle.
girl.
Yeah.
Yes. So the fact that Kesha came in and she's like the OG party girl, this is how I write party girl music, paired with Charli's, I thought was really interesting.
Yeah, it's an interesting like kind of like dichotomy between like what was popular, like what's popular now, and like how that's changed over time. It's kind of like a cool time capsule, but I do kind of agree. I think I just prefer the original version better.
Yeah.
I'm not really Kesha doesn't really add too much to this.
No, I think it was just for the homage of like
like this
you're
is
the
where we
party
came
girl.
from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roots.
Amen, man.
Amen.
Yeah, I didn't feel largely like attached to either. If I'm being honest with you, I think they're both objectively good, but not really for me.
Sure.
I like this. I like the sentiment of Kesha's verse though, where it's like losing to those who play safe, but like not making it a competition.
And that's why she's on Spring Breakers, because that's the song about the Grammys.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Everything Charli XCX does has always made sense.
There's a purpose.
There's a purpose.
Yeah.
It's so like, that girl's a marketing genius. Genuinely.
bright future ahead of her. That Charli, that industry plant.
Mommy's a little industry plant.
But that'll do it for Brat, but 3 different songs and
What
whatnot.
a journey.
Yeah.
Also, just the album title itself of not renaming it.
Exactly.
Brat Deluxe, no. Brat, it's the same with
3 different songs.
So funny.
Yeah.
God, I love her.
It's a good bit. So Elizabeth, what are your thoughts on Brat?
Oh my God. Cultural phenomenon changed my brain chemistry.
Yeah.
I love this album. I think I've loved Charli. Like I saw her in 2019 when she played Union Transfer.
Oh shit.
Which is like 1,000-person venue maybe, and it was not sold out. It was
Damn.
like 700 people maybe. Me and a bunch of twinks, right? And seeing how much she's grown and how much like to go back and see an artist that had, you know, all these songs needing to put like production live behind, you know what I mean? When you see like all the older songs with like, she sings in like the rain for one of the older songs now. It's like, that's how it was supposed to be. So it's so cool to see an artist that deserves it. I think worked so hard to get to this point and genuinely did it authentically, didn't please, you know, she did it her own way and it slays. Like this album is so good. 10 out of 10, A+.
S tier?
Yes.
That's our highest one.
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, very nice.
That's my thoughts.
Matt?
I mean, you already know that I very much appreciate this album. I think like not only is it so different from what little I had like heard of Charli XCX, it's honestly one of the more different albums that I had heard in 2024.
Absolutely.
Which like I very much respect for having such like a distinct sound profile. Her lyrics have like this sort of like bitter and caustic feel to them at times, but then like it's so layered at the same time. What more could I say? Brat, you know what I mean?
Brat.
Really sums it all up.
Amen.
Genuinely, like this album is such a pleasure to listen from start to finish. I think I probably prefer the bass version of it the most because that was the version like I kind of knew like and had listened to. Yeah, no, my favorite tracks on here, Von Dutch, like that one's insanely good. Girls So Confusing is remarkable. I love 365, Fax Machine non-derogatory. No, like Mean Girls, oh my God. I feel like my appreciation for Mean Girls like very much increased upon this last like few re-listens.
Totally.
And just, yeah, no, like it paces itself so brilliantly and her autotune is very, very tasteful.
Yeah.
Gotta love it.
Like there are so many things on this album that she does right that it's hard to even pinpoint anything she did like wrong.
Yeah.
Because I don't even think there really is anything that she did wrong.
I wouldn't change anything.
No, like
Which
seriously.
is so hard to say about a whole album.
I wasn't fatigued at all listening to this album. So as far as I'm concerned, That's an A- for me. I think.
Nice.
Like
Solid
without a doubt.
A-.
It's in the A tier.
Yeah.
I could see it possibly moving up a peg to like A+. We'll see at the end of this season.
Oh, that's true.
I would give this a solid like 9.12 out of 10.
Nice.
It's great.
It's Brat.
it's in my top 5 for a reason.
Yeah.
Like genuinely, I will be listening to this album in full again. Like I can see myself doing that.
That's all I've been doing.
I will see myself doing that. So
Fair enough.
yeah.
I feel like I have a very interesting relationship with this album where it's like I have like a different opinion on it like every time I listen to it. So like on the re-listen I did for like taking my notes, I didn't like it as much. Re-listening to it before we recorded, I liked it a lot more. And then hearing your thoughts definitely made me appreciate it a lot more too.
We're bullying you into liking Brat.
A little bit. It's kind of similar to like our episode
so
with Tim, with Tip and Butterfly and Animals.
Yeah.
It's like I feel like I kind of like I can see it now. I just felt like I never really got the cultural kind of phenomenon attached to it. And I'm also just not a hyperpop guy in general.
Fair.
So like those instrumentals are very hit or miss for me.
I think I might be. I'm discovering more
There you go.
that I actually might be more of a hopper pipe.
Newly discovered
pop.
365 party girl.
Exactly.
I just said hopper pipe. Did anybody catch that real
My
quick?
favorite Weezer song.
The Green album. Green
Yeah.
album. So yeah.
Dude, Weezer did Brat before Charli. Oh, that's all I'm saying.
You can't say that. I think we get crucified for that take, Loki.
The angels will come for you.
Is that what they're called? I see.
Charlie's Angels.
Oh, that's
that's
so
cute.
clever.
Cute,
I love
right?
that.
Cute.
That's so Brat.
It's so Julia.
Continuation.
But yeah, like these instrumentals like are hit or miss. I prefer like the more kind of like melodic, traditionally accessible ones like Apple or Hello Goodbye. But like some of the crunchier moments like do really fuck, like Mean Girls, Von Dutch, 360, Talk even to like a lesser extent. But like the lyrics I definitely think are the highlight for me on this album. Like there's like so many like layers to peel back, and like even though there's this kind of like theme of just like party girl, like, you know, living your best life, slaying, whatnot, there's like always just like the insecurity that comes with that, and just like all the issues that you go through with that's like relatable to pretty much anyone, which is very cool. Charli's personality is like really captivating throughout. Like she is really fucking funny, and just like the self-awareness she has is like very commendable, because like she like knows how to play to her audience, how to just like make fun of culture in general, or like make it her own. There's like a lot of satire and irony like tied to like a lot of these lyrics, which I appreciate a lot. But I don't know, I just feel like I don't quite get it. I like
That's
it,
fair.
but it's not quite my favorite. So I think I'm gonna give it a solid B for Brat.
I love it.
Thanks.
Before we wrap up, I just want to say, like, you found things on this album that you could like enjoy, and I think you've established that like this album can be for anybody.
Yeah.
This one guy back in December, we didn't get into an argument. I almost got into kind of an argument with him all those months ago.
Yes, so far gone.
Yeah, so far gone. It's practically out of my mind from how long ago it was.
Exactly, because it's April Fool's Day,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
He around the time of the Spotify Wrapped, he had said like his best tracks of 2024 are like top 10 best and top 10 worst. And I think at number 6 he said any song off of Brat.
And worst?
Yeah.
Ew.
And I was just kind of like, okay,
That's
L take.
did we listen to the same album? He also said the same thing about Chapel Roan, so I think he just hates women. To be honest with you, like,
Is it like an influencer or like a?
they are a person I went to school with.
Oh, I see.
And I remember they had some pretty bad music takes in the past. I'm glad to see that nothing's changed. You know what I mean?
sounds like somebody just wants to hate something to hate it.
no,
Yeah, 'cause
quite
it's
literally.
popular.
Yeah. And that's kind of part of the reason why I was saying like it may not be for my target demographic per se, but at the same time, I feel like there's a lot of things to enjoy.
Yeah,
off
absolutely.
Of it. Because
Something like to go off that I loved with the Sweat Tours, you looked at the audience and it was everybody.
Yeah.
It was all different people who you would be like, I didn't think you'd listen to Brat. Again, mainly girls and gays, sure. But like genuinely like everyone just in Brat green and sunglasses. And I think that's so beautiful
Yeah.
to be able to build such a like persona.
Community.
Yes, and a community around an album.
I think you can fuck with it. So I personally, I think you are right. I think he just is hating on it just to hate it. I think you said that actually. You didn't say
I
that.
think you
Sorry.
The man took my thought.
Girl, it's so confusing.
But like that's kind of why I prefaced that in the beginning, because like that was the other reason I could think of like them saying like, oh yeah, this album, any track off of it is the worst of 2024. It's like
lame. You're not Brat.
Yeah, the lack of media literacy there is kind of crazy.
And then like in their following list, they had said something about like the new JPEG Mafia album having like the best.
Perfect.
Okay.
Which fair, it is really good. But I also feel like, and it's fine if like the Brat songs don't make it in your best like list. I don't know why they're not, but like just I don't know. It just kind of felt like
it's giving you hate women.
I hate to say it. The best way I can describe it is it just sounded like blah 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 man. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's coming from a man. So like, you know,
but no, like you raise a good point because like even though I'm not particularly like fond of the album, there's still like great things all throughout to appreciate and like instrumentally, musically, lyrically, like, and just boiling it down to these tracks are bad.
You like tastefully didn't connect to it. Not in a way that's anything against women.
Yeah. It's not like this song's like, bad because Charli did it.
Yeah, it's just not your vibe.
Exactly.
But you can still
like
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And look at that. Perspective, the family album. That's our tagline.
Listen, if you're going to hate on something, give me just some good reasons. Yeah.
I'm the I think I like when things get popular because I like the community that forms around something. Like, I think it's fun. Like Wicked.
Yeah.
God, do I love Wicked. Do I love Brat?
They go hand in hand.
I love Chappell Roan.
Sabrina Carpenter.
I fucking love Chappell Roan, man.
Yeah, she's incredible.
That to me did the same thing that Brat did, just to a different audience, maybe.
Different angle.
Totally.
But still a lot of crossover.
Yeah.
A lot of crossover.
Overlap.
Again, it's that community. It's like you're seeing, interesting enough in music this year, like community that normally involves in fandom are kind of evolving into like more album based, which is therefore making it more accessible. Even if it's the fandom that does it or whatever. But like, I don't know, I just think there's more community this year in music, and I really love that.
Yeah,
I
agree.
That continues post April Fool's Day.
Exactly, 2025.
Elizabeth, thank you so much for being on this episode.
Thank you for letting me come and speak my piece.
Thank you for flying all the way from Nashville.
Yes, I came in for one day to film this on April Fool's Day. to then
3 hours before this goes live.
Embark on my tour.
Yes. Well, yeah. Thanks again for coming on the show.
Thank you.
This has been another episode of The Family Album. I'm your host, AJ Tenari.
I'm Matt Glass.
I'm Elizabeth.
And we'll see you next week for Tom Hates Albums.
Ugh. Peace.
Yay. That was so Brat.